Hey everybody, so I wanted to give a really quick intro into what my intention is with this video. So I've uploaded speedruns in the past, one of the vanilla game, one of the vanilla game with Ashes of Ariandel, and now I'm going to be uploading a third speedrun with the entire content of the game with the Ring City, Ashes of Ariandel, and the main game. Now what I wanted to do with this was to create a beginner route, so to speak. And by beginner route, I don't necessarily mean an easy route, I mean a route that is for someone newer to speedrunning Dark Souls 3, not someone who's practiced all of the really in-depth skips, not someone who's super familiar with how to speedrun the game. The reason I wanted to do this is I know that a lot of you guys really enjoy Dark Souls 3, and I find the game to be very accessible to speedrunning, but if you run the strats that the current meta route is using, you're gonna have to use a lot of difficult skips, you're gonna have to use a lot of risky things that will save you a lot of time in the grand scheme of things, but for someone new to speedrunning, you shouldn't necessarily be doing that stuff yet. You should be doing more safe strats that will allow you to complete more runs, and as you complete more runs and feel more comfortable with the run itself, you can remove some of the safer strats. And by safer strats, I mean things like not using the more difficult skips in the run, grabbing extra bonfires, grabbing extra Estus shards, undead bone shards, things like that. Things that easily can be removed over time, but for now, you can use them because they create a more safe environment to speedrun the game and complete more runs, which in the long run, completing runs of the game is what will make you better at speedrunning. So I'm gonna do what I did in the past, I'm gonna walk through the entire run with you guys. I left a link in the description to a pace bin that is my notes that I created for this run. This run is a adapted route of the current meta route that is being run. I've just added more safe strats in for you guys. My notes are a little vague, so I definitely recommend you follow along with the video, and yeah, let's get right into it, guys. Okay, so I didn't show it here, but you can see in the notes the character creation. I want you to pick the assassin class and the black firebombs for the gift. The reason for the assassin class is for the spook spell, which we'll be using a lot, and the black firebombs we'll use shortly on Gundyr and for something else. Now, when you start, you want to take off your helmet and your body armor because it allows your weight to get lower, which will make your stamina come back faster. We're going to use that a couple different times in the run. One thing that I really recommend is recognizing that you can use a claw grip on the controller. If you haven't seen it, I'd look it up on YouTube. You can Google image it. It's a certain way of holding the controller. It'll allow you to do what you're seeing here. I'm angling the camera as I'm running, and you'll notice as I'm running too that I try to use my stamina effectively. I mentioned this in past videos. As you can see here, I jump down there and pick up the Titanite shard. Make sure you grab that for this route, and we're gonna run over to Gundyr. The reason you want to use your full stamina bar almost completely is if you deplete your stamina, you won't be able to use it again until it's back. What you want to do is try to use basically until you have 5% stamina left, and then until you have 95% stamina. I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but as you come up here to Gundyr, make sure you have your black firebombs equipped. You want to go for 5 hits right here in the beginning, then try to circle around Gundyr and wait till you have enough stamina for 2 more hits. That's 7. Now you want to get 3 more hits in. That's 10. I got really good RNG here. You want to get 3 more. 13 R1s is enough to make him transform. Now, as he's transforming, you want to do 2 two-handed charged R2 attacks. Once you've done that, a black firebomb will stun him, and 2 black firebombs if thrown immediately will be enough to kill him because you get a counter hit on the first bomb. Now, as you're going to see here, this is something we're going to use a lot in the run, which is quitting out at doors. You're going to have to get very fast at quitting out because speedruns for Dark Souls 3 are run on in-game time. And when you quit out at a door, basically we're saving in-game time because a door animation takes, I think, somewhere around 10 seconds, and quitting out takes about 3 seconds, I believe, 3 to 4 seconds. So you save about 6 seconds on each door. I know it's really silly, but it adds up over the course of the run, it does. If you don't want to quit out at doors, it's up to you. The other thing that quitting out is useful for, other than instances like that, is it resets enemy position in the game. So you'll see us use that a couple times in the run to make use of that, and you can use that as a safety strat for yourself. Now, coming down into Firelink, you want to purchase a dagger, and you want to sell 1 of the black firebombs that you have. We'll talk about the dagger later. You want to make sure you keep 1 black firebomb. Now, I equip the dagger here. Make sure you take off that black firebomb. Make absolutely sure you take off the black firebomb. I also take off the Ashen Estus and X-Dot because we're not going to need it. Now, I take out the staff here because we're going to run up and some of you may be familiar with this skip. Like I said, I'm not going to use a lot of skips, but I will use a few. This is a pretty simple skip. It's the tree skip. I fail it miserably there, but if you go at the right angle against the tree, apparently I had trouble with it. I always have trouble when I come from that angle, but if you run at the right angle against a tree, kind of run against it on having it on your left, you can use it to vault yourself up there. You want to grab those homeward bones because we'll make use of those. I always like to cast spook as I get to the door here. And then we're going to run up here and grab the Estus shard that's up here. It's the first one we'll grab. and then you're going to trade the black firebomb right here with the crow. That'll give us a Titanite chunk for later in the run. Then you're immediately going to jump off and do what's called a fall skip quit out. That's one of the only skips I'm going to use in this run. A fall skip quit out is, a fall skip quit out is essentially casting spook on yourself. And if it's a fall that would kill you, if you quit out as you hit the ground, as your body hits that ground, you feel that little vibration and you hear your character scream, you'll actually be able to, as you can see, load back in the game and be alive. It's just a little skip that allows you to save some time. Now, you want to use the souls that you have remaining to level up 12 Faith with the Firekeeper and then go to High Wall. The reason we want to level up 12 Faith is we're going to use the Astora Straight Sword in the beginning of this run, and you need 3 additional Faith to be able to wield the Astora Straight Sword. Now again, go to the door here and quit out. So to reiterate on those fall skip quit outs, you cast Spook. As long as Spook is active, you can take any fall that wouldn't kill you without taking damage. If it's a fall that would kill you and you quit out as you hit the ground, you will load back in the game safe and alive. This will be used many times in the run, so it is one of the few skips that you do need to learn, but it's very, very easy to do. Now, if anyone's watching for running on console, I've heard that it's impossible, or at the very least, incredibly difficult to do on console because it's hard to, it's essentially, consoles quit out slow. I've quit out on console before and they're just slower to load. It's kind of odd, so you may not be able to do that on console and you may have to lose some time there. Anyway, you want to go around here and grab this gold pine resin because we're going to make use of that in the run. I fall there specifically to not take damage because you actually do a lot more in this route in Firelink than before. And if you can not use Estus here, it means you won't have to take Vort's Bonfire after killing him, which is pretty useful. So watch out for these guys. They can be a pain sometimes. But hey, this is something that you'll get with practice. You'll get very good at running past enemies in the game because that is what we do in the speedrun. We don't fight basic enemies unless we absolutely have to. We run past them. And again, this is where you want to make creative use of the claw grip, camera angles, and managing your stamina appropriately. Now, I do a jumping R2 attack, which you do by sprinting and pressing R2 on the lizard here. That does enough damage so that you can get your stamina back and do 5 R1s on that lizard and kill him. We're going to need that raw gem for the Astora Straight Sword. When you jump down here, watch for that arrow coming for your back, and then immediately dive over to the right through these barrels, watching out for that Lothric Knight, because he's a pain in the butt. Then you get over here, and we're going to grab these Green Blossom, which we'll make use of later in the run as well. And here we're going to get our first weapon that we're going to use in the run, the Astora Straight Sword. The Astora Straight Sword is great for the beginning of the run. It's very powerful against a lot of the beginning bosses. Now, when you jump down here for the SSR, make sure you roll through these barrels because there's an asshole with firebombs up there, and he's a pain in the ass. He will throw them down, and if he blows up those barrels next to you, you will die, and you obviously don't want to die. So you want to quit out right there because it resets enemy position. Like I said, it keeps you safe. You saw that dog was on my ass. Dogs in this game fucking suck. Yeah, it was on my ass. So you grab the SS shard over there. You quit out. You grab the Titanite shard. Now we've got pretty much everything we need from here. Jump down there. As you can see, you can spam roll if you're ever unsafe. It can work as long as you don't screw it up. I grabbed the Ember right there and equipped the Astora Straight Sword. I grabbed that Ember specifically to sell for souls later. If you want, you can keep embers that you find. Like, you don't need the souls necessarily. It just helps for leveling early in the run. But since we're going to use the raw Astora Straight Sword, leveling isn't critically important in the beginning of this run. It's just going to help us get vigor, which will make it easier to live, of course. Here's a good spot to heal, because after you grab the banner from Emma, it'll take a second after you skip through all our dialogue, but you can quit out. And if you quit out, as you'll see when we load back in here, we're going to be at the front of her door. It's just a little... These are the kind of skips I'm talking about. These are ones that are very basic. They don't take any effort. They don't put you in any danger. It's really just being good at quitting out. And that's something you'll get good at with time. Just like claw grip and managing your stamina. The more you quit out, the faster you'll get at doing it. I used to be super slow at quitting out. And eventually I got pretty quick. I managed my stamina appropriately here. These guys often try to attack you, but I like to if you just run through them, you'll be fine. I equipped the Homer Bones and the Gold Pine Resin here because we're going to use Gold Pine Resin and the Raw Astora Straight Sword to kill Vort. And as you're going to see, it makes Vort your little bitch. Now, 7 R1s with this sword cause him to buff. So sometimes, or not sometimes, you want to try to use that to your advantage. So I try to do as much damage to possible to him before he transforms, basically. Because you want him to be as close to dead as possible. The other thing you want to be thinking about and keeping in mind is navigating him. Now, you see he runs forward, he runs there. You see how I try to kind of bring him closer to the door? That's because when he dies, I'm going to quit out at the door. And that's because it saves time, it makes the doors open. The key is you cannot quit out until it says Air of Flame destroyed. If you quit out before that, you'll be back at the beginning of the boss fog with Vord alive, and that'll, obviously, in any run that you're competing against a good time, your run will be over, because you're going to have to fight Vord all over again without a resin, which will be a hell of a lot slower. But if you don't have a lot of Estus there, I highly recommend resting at the bonfire. If you rest at that bonfire, you will also cause the doors to open quickly. And it's a good safe strat because later you'll be fighting Dancer, who can be a hard boss for a lot of people, myself included. And if you happen to die to Dancer, you'll have Vort's bonfire instead of the high wall bonfire, which means a lot of running back, quite a bit of running back. Anyway, you cast Spook either before or after that cutscene. That way you can jump down here. I still can't believe you can survive that fall with that level of HP and Spook, but you can, and you grab the Alluring Skulls. If you drop down in the way that I did, next to the dogs and kind of behind them, you actually won't aggro the dogs, which is very, very useful because they'll chase you otherwise, and it's a pain in the ass. Now here you kind of want to run through, watch out for that guy, he likes to swing at you, and then these dogs can be a serious pain in the ass. One thing you have to watch out for over the course of the run when lighting bonfires, if an enemy is too close to a bonfire, you can't light it, so if that ever happens, you have to do a quick quit out, which I was ready to do there. Here... because of the dog and rolling away from it, I completely got my fingers crossed, and that's what I mean. Sometimes, if you're too slow at quitting out, it can really put you in danger, and it can be pretty scary. And here I was a little more upset about it because I decided not to take Vort's bonfire, so I didn't have 3 Estus here. I'm going through the rest of this area with just this much Estus, and then I come back in, look at my health, and I said, oh, shit. Anyway, you want to grab the first Charcoal Pine bundle here. We're going to roll down, and I'm going to be horrified at how much health I have left. Or I guess, I guess I do that. I guess I use Estus there. Sorry, I did this run 2 days ago, so I'm trying to keep it in mind. You grab the Estus shard in front of that one, run around, and grab this Ember. That guy may hit you, just be aware of that. Not to worry as long as you have a decent amount of health, which I don't here. What I did before, actually, and I might do it again here on this ledge, you can actually cancel a portion of the Estus animation. Like, see there, I didn't get it off, but... if you do it at the perfect time, you can actually cancel a portion of the Estus drinking animation because halfway through the animation is when you heal. So if you're falling off a ledge, you can actually cancel a portion of the animation. It's just a tiny, tiny skip thing that saves like half a second. But again, we're speedrunning. We care about every damn second in the run, of course. Now you want to run over this edge and fall down because we need this lizard to die. We need it for the sharp gem. I recommend waiting until the lizard stops moving and is trying to escape and then doing this. One charge, two-handed R2 is enough to kill the lizard. Just be aware, I've had runs before where I've charged R2 too soon and it got away, and got away from me, which can be pretty annoying. Anyway, here's I guess you can consider this a skip? Not really, I don't jump here. What I do is I angle the ground there. If you want to jump, feel free, because I've fallen in that hole quite a few times, but I kind of angle the camera and gravity appropriately. Normally those guys will be dead. That was kind of scary, but I managed to make it. That guy with the hammer can also stand in that door and block your way. If he does, you got to do a quick quit out, which is scary. Anyway, put your armor back on here, and now we're going to equip our stuff. Watch the order I equip things in. In my 4th slot, we're going to put the Alluring Skull. In the 5th slot, the bundle, and the last slot, the resin. The reason I do this is as you'll see very shortly, the strategy we're going to use here. You'd like to be at full health here in case these guys do hit you, but yeah, I don't have any S's left, so we just YOLO'd it. Run right to this spot and throw an Alluring Skull right behind you. That will take care of the enemies for a short time. Stand in this spot, boom, 1 R1. Then you turn immediately around and go for 5 R1s on the main sack, and that is enough to take him out. Now, if you wait until he rotates here, you won't stagger him like this, which is kind of a time loss, so to speak, because if you hit him while he's going second phase, which is what I consider him doing this, falling down, he won't stagger, so it saves you a little bit of time. Anyway, 2-hand before you go down, use your 2nd Pine bundle, and if you do 2 R1s like that, you'll just hit straight up and it'll work. 3 one-handed R1s, finish it. I charge an R2 to hit that, or you can just hit twice with R1, and that also works. And then hit the hand to finish off whatever's left, if there is anything left. Grab this Homeward Bone, and then Bonfire Last Rested. I know that was all very quick, but so essentially you're hitting the first, you're throwing an Alluring Skull, hitting the first sack with 1 R1 after Pine bundling as the leg comes to you. You hit the main sack with 5. You hit the second hand with 2 if you have the bundle. If you don't have the bundle, it takes 4 to break the one on his hand. You want to try to break those before he falls. Then you go 2-handed. You hit the sack twice with the 2-handed R1s, 3 times with the 1-handed R1s, and then you hit the sack below his right leg. either with 2 R1s or 1 charged R2 if the bundle's there. Otherwise, it takes a little bit more. And then finish his hand with whatever's left. Anyway, you want to go back to this door after going to the bonfire last rested, quit out, roll down there, and grab the other pine bundle because we will be using that on the crystal stage later in the run. Now we're going to run toward Farron Keep. I have a Farron Woods in my split because I was playing a lot of Zelda and realized how similar the names were. And I guess while we're doing this, I can talk really quick and mention that the thing I use is Live Split. It's not actually an application in the game. I have it overlaid on my screen through my broadcasting software. You want to roll there and then kind of wheedle your way around that guy and jump. It's a little bit of a difficult jump to make. But yeah, it's just something that comes with practice. I'm not very good at making the jump, but I'm sure other people won't struggle with it. Anyway, cast Spook here, and you can jump on down and be quite safe, and then we're going to go to the door and quit out. So yeah, I use Live Split. If you Google it, you'll find it very easily, and you can make your own split names, and like me personally, I have my own split names, and then I have mapped to my DualShock 4, which is what I use to run the game on PC. I actually have the touchpad mapped to my number pad 0 key, which is what I use to split. So it's really nice. I can actually split using pressing the touchpad on the DualShock 4. Very nice. And before you run forward too far here, you spook again because you're going to trigger the elevator that Sigurd's coming up on. And we're going to say, hi, Sigurd, bye, Sigurd, and go down. And jump down the elevator and skip that whole thing, because otherwise you would have to take the elevator down yourself. I grabbed the Ember here yet again. You don't have to grab these Embers. These are the kind of safe strats I was talking about. They really just give you 1,000 extra souls, or if you want to save them, you're completely welcome to do so. It's pretty easy to run past that guy. You may have to dodge, but most of the time you can literally just run past his attacks. He's a little scary, but you know what? He's just a little nothing when you have quit outs. Like I said, quitting out is really the it's really the bread and butter of this run. We do a lot of quit outs. So that is definitely my highest recommendation, is other than being good at the game and having game knowledge, get good at quitting out. Get good at quitting out fast. Anyway, I grabbed this soul right here. It's 800 souls. It's just extra souls. I used to grab them in a different route because we used to need 22 luck when we did the honorees route for the sage, but now you don't. Now I just grab them out of habit, and again, safe strats just gives you some extra souls to make sure you're leveling properly. Anyway, we're going to keep running. I'm going to take a sip of water here. And we're going to run through these guys, not really worrying about them. At some point before I drop down, I like to equip my armor again. You're going to be doing more running, but there are things that could possibly hit you, and that scares me. Thank the Lord we don't have to kill Henri anymore. Killing Henri was such a pain in the ass in these runs. Like, it was so reset heavy. It was so damn reset heavy because you relied on Henri's AI to make that fall that I just made, and Kiter over there, and it's just, God, it was annoying. So I love this route. I love this route. So you grab the Titanite Shard there after falling down with Spook, and you're gonna grab the Titanite Shard here. I do a drop attack. That way I have a safe way out so I don't get trapped by these things. Grab the other Titanite Shard. Then we're gonna go forward. I'm gonna beat the shit out of this dog because I hate this dog. He tracks you to the bonfire and tries to not let you light it. And you need this bonfire to get back to Sage later. So I'm gonna light this bonfire, and then we're gonna go down and get the Grass Curse Shield. But yeah, I love this route, guys. It's easily the most fun route I've done since I started running this game. It's so fun. Be careful of the crab there. He can clip through that tree, so kind of walk around it a little bit. I quick equip the shield here, and then grab these Green Blossom. Now, one thing I want to make quick note of here is that if you are playing online and if you are online on Steam, either of those things, then you will get invaded here. And what you have to do is you have to quit out, because you can't Homeward Bone, Rest the Bonfires, or any of that stuff if you have an invader in your world, and you have to quit out before you reach the invasion. If you bring the quit out screen up, once they invade, you'll be able to quit out. If you watch any of my other speedrun videos, you'll be able to see me do it. But the thing is, if you're offline in game and you go offline on Steam, then you'll be able to avoid the invasions in the game, the NPC invasions. Anyway, you try to kite one of those over for extra souls, those guys that like to fall down. I have it in the notes, make sure a bimbo falls. You light the bonfire, and then this is what we got the dagger for. If you two-hand the dagger and use the weapon art, you can actually dagger walk through muck. That's another sort of skip that we use. It's, again, nothing difficult at all. It's literally just two-handing the weapon and pressing L2 a shitload. That's really all it is. So you take out that fire, and then you bone back to the last bonfire rested. That allows you to skip going the long way. I mean, even if you guys don't want to speedrun the game, you guys can make use of that so you don't have to run past those fucking huge shaman monster things. I literally haven't seen one of those enemies in like 6 months because I never go over there anymore. Anyway, you want to grab this Estus Shard, and then we're going to grab 2 more Titanite Shards in this area, this one being the first. And then we're going to go up and light this bonfire here. Be very careful of these enemies. They have pretty decent pursuit, especially this dagger guy, so roll. If he ever does that diagonal swing, you know he's going to follow up that long distance stab, and that thing will not only hurt you very badly, but it will stagger you, which could end up getting you killed. After you light each fire, make sure you skip the cutscene first, then quit out. If you quit out before, you won't light the fire, so make sure you wait for the cutscene to come up before quitting out. And the reason we quit out, again, is to reset enemy position, because as you can see, those guys were on my ass. The last thing I want to do is have to roll around them and stuff. Just be very careful. You'll see it there. If you hear that guy make a scream when you come back in the game, roll as you come in, because he's trying to lunge at you, and that attack will take the majority of your health. And if you're missing any health, you'll die. Now, this is the only part of this that I really is kind of clinch-worthy. This guy over here, the one that'd like to jump on you or grab you, try to stand a little bit over there like I did there and kite an attack from him, because you don't want him to attack you when you're grabbing the shard, right? You don't want him to grab you. That would be scary. Yet again, there's that diagonal swing with the lunge attack. You dodge that. Light the last fire, or not light it, rather. Put it out, and then quit out. But yeah, be very wary of that guy, because if he does grab you, he'll take, I think, like 90% of your health, and it gets really scary. Very likely that you'll die, and it's a shame to die there, because you're almost to the bonfire that we're going to be taking, which is the Firelink bonfire. You know, come to think of it, this is actually a pretty safe strat. You don't even need this bonfire anymore, the Keep Ruins bonfire. I haven't even thought about that. Literally until watching this, I didn't think about that. This is a time waste. You don't need this bonfire anymore unless you're taking it for safety, which again, I recommend. I recommend taking things that you might not take otherwise to save time, if it'll make you feel safer, when you're running. Because really the only thing that can reset a run, to be quite honest with you, is losing your souls, because you use these souls and items and such to level yourself up throughout the run. If you lose the souls, then you may have screwed yourself in terms of the route, essentially. You could always go get souls elsewhere, but that takes a lot of time, and, you know, it becomes a question of how much that's worth rather than just starting a new run. But you do want to complete as many runs as possible in the beginning and try not to reset. So really, I say, unless you lose your souls, do not reset. That's my opinion in the beginning. Anyway, I take off all my armor here to run faster. No, sorry. I always say run faster, but it's not. It's technically, I guess, but you just gain your stamina back faster, so it allows you to run more. So you're able to run more, not necessarily faster. If you take your armor off here too, you actually seem to gain your stamina fast enough to get away from that guy. He won't follow you to the bonfire, which is quite nice. Now, I run to the right of this guy. This guy will always aggro to you. But if you run to the left here, these guys will not aggro when you're not wearing your armor. Maybe you're too light. And same with this lizard. If you run to the right of it, it doesn't aggro, which is quite nice, because this guy... He's never caught up to me before. That's the closest he's ever come, but even then, I think, honestly, I was safe. So after you light the Firelink perimeter bonfire, we're going to run to the right. You could run past the knight if you wanted, but you'd aggro him. I say it's not worth it. I take the 2-3 second time loss, but running around. Grab a Sellsword Twin Blades, which is the weapon for the run. We won't be using it for a while, but it is the weapon for the run. Grab the Firelink Coal, and then we're going to go back to Firelink. And now being in Firelink for the first time since the beginning of the game, we've got quite a bit to do here. So the first thing we're going to do here is sell all the souls and embers. Like I said, you can keep them if you like. You just might get one less level than I do. You should sell the S-Stock here too. It's only worth 300 souls, but I just like getting it out of my inventory. I like having it out of the way. You want to upgrade the Astora Straight Sword to +2, and we're going to turn it raw now. So that's as much as we're going to upgrade the Astora Straight Sword for the run. Allow your Estus to 4, and you should have 4 Estus shards here. So quite nice. You can get 8 Estus right here after only fighting 3 bosses. That's pretty damn nice. And then we're going to give him the Firelink Coal and infuse a sharp Sellsword Twin Blades. We're just doing that for later. Nothing important now. As you can see here, I'm going to go back and sell the S-Stock because I realized I didn't sell it before. These are things where you could save time. See, I could save time on this split in a future run by selling the S-Stock right away because I didn't sell it. So I level 17 Vigor and 15 Endurance. I think I have it written in the notes as 11 Dexterity, but it's 15. It's just adding 1 level to your Dexterity. And the reason I do that is because you don't need your Dexterity yet, right? We're not using the sharp Sellsword Twin Blades yet, so with the raw Astora Straight Sword, there's no scaling. There's no reason to level your Dex right now. 17 Vigor is as much as we're going to have until like halfway through the run. So I figure, why not get your Vigor now, make the beginning of this run safer since you don't need the Dex yet. And we'll worry about leveling Dex later when we actually need it. So anyway, we're going to use the 2 Undead Bone Shards. So now you have 8 Estus +2, which is, again, quite nice for this point in the game. Come back to the Fair and Keep perimeter bonfire. It should be what your bonfire's on, so you can just literally mash the X or A button when you get back to the bonfire in Firelink. Put your armor back on as you're running, which menuing as you're running takes time to get used to. Take this path around. You should take your lightning resin out, but I just forgot to. So go to the door, quit out. And now we're, oh, excuse me, I bought my mic. Now we're at the, we're at the Abyss Watcher's door. Now this is one of the harder fights in the run, to some extent, because your weapon is kind of weak here. There is a skip you can do here, but it takes a bit of setting up, and it basically nullifies the Abyss Watchers. It makes their AI broken and makes them stand still. I don't do the skip. I don't like doing the skip. This is one of the more fun fights in the game to me, and I don't want to make the boss just stand there, so I say fuck it. I believe it's either 11 or 12 hits for each phase, as long as you have the lightning resin. So what you kind of want to do here in this fight, I'll just talk about that strategy for the rest of this fight. You want to hope that that Watcher there, the second one, goes and spawns at the same time as the third one, because they'll go straight to each other. I got lucky there, even though I got the bad RNG. But what you want to do here is you'll see, you want to try to use spacing to your advantage. You see I keep backing away from him. I know he's going to do this attack if I do. I know it'll allow me to get a backstab off. What you want to do here is use spacing against the Watchers. You want to try to be just far enough away that they can't attack you, and you can capitalize. You see how I back off there instead of rolling? I know that attack pretty well because I've fought him so many times. I know that if I just back off, it won't hit me, and then instead of dodging like I'm forced to do here, I'll be able to get in with my stamina fully intact and be able to punish and take damage. Now, of course, sometimes you are going to have to roll. It's way better to roll when you need to than try to save your stamina. But as much as you can, I try to use spacing against the Watchers to not use my stamina, go in and punish, and use the fact that they stagger. All in all, that was a pretty good fight. If you feel uncomfortable with this area, I highly do recommend grabbing the Abyss Watcher's Bonfire. But we're going to cast Spook here and fall down. Now, this is a little tricky. What you have to do here is you need to get in front of this skeleton here, hit him twice, and then turn and press R1 again. It's not that tricky, but basically your swing as you turn will catch him, because you need 3 hits to hit him. But if you just face him, you can only hit him twice before he runs away, and then it's a time loss. So try to kind of swing around and catch him, the little skelly hat bitch. Now, here's a small skip. It's not a huge deal if you miss it, but if you don't miss it, you want to try to jump right here. See, I miss it here. If you jump up there, you'll actually be able to grab 3 Carthus Rouge, which we only need 1 of for this entire run. You'll be able to grab a Titanite Shard, a large Titanite Shard, excuse me, and you'll be able to grab the ashes that I'm about to grab here. Normally, I quit out before grabbing those ashes, but I was annoyed that I missed the jump, so I didn't. I recommend quitting out because you can see those rats will come up. These guys are going to be pursuing you. It's not smart to stay in the game without quitting out there, but I said, fuck it. You know what? I didn't get the jump, so getting the jump is not a problem. I have it written in the notes where you can get an extra large Titanite Shard and where you can, with the Grave Warden's Ashes, you can buy 1 Carthus Rouge. So it's not a big deal if you miss the jump. It's just nice to get it if you can. Anyway, we're going to run on, and we're going to quit out at Wolnir's door here. And yeah, it's time for the Wolnir fight, which is a pretty easy fight. I'm pretty sure everyone can really agree that Wolnir is an easy fight anyway, and it's no different in the speedrun. We're going to take advantage of a little trick that many people may not even know, because I'm sure many people just rush headlong straight into Wolnir. I think actually, I guess I'll have a minute to talk to you guys here, because I think I stopped here to make to notate where you could grab the extra items, the extra Carthus Rouge and the extra large Titanite Shard. Because you're supposed to grab them up there, essentially. But that jump is easy to miss, and there's no sense in resetting an entire run for missing that jump when it's really not a time loss to grab an extra large Titanite Shard and buy a Carthus Rouge. It really doesn't take a lot. And to be honest, I haven't tested it, but I don't even know if you actually need a Carthus Rouge. You actually use it for killing the crocodile dog enemy, as I'll call him, on Pontiff's, or on the bridge to Irithyll Valley. I don't think you actually need it, but I haven't tested it. And as for the large Titanite Shard, you do need it. You do need that large Titanite Shard, but there is another one you can grab that's not out of the way really at all. I think it's probably like a 5-second time loss, so it's really not a big deal. So if you miss it, not a big deal. Anyway, I don't know how long Past Dmod took to write his notes, so let's just talk to each other for a bit. Let's just talk to each other and say, how you doing? Are you having a nice day? Are you enjoying your day? I'm enjoying my day. I'm having a very nice day. I'm talking to you guys about this speedrun. I'm very proud that I was able to run the game in under 2 hours so quickly. As you can see at the top, next to the all bosses thing, this is my 6th attempt. This is my 6th attempt of this route. And I only completed 1 run out of the previous 5, and it was, as you can see at the bottom, 2 hours and 3 minutes. So it was almost under 2 hours for the first fully completed run, which is pretty nice. Anyway, we're back in the game finally. Thank you, Past DMod, for writing your notes so fast. You want to go press start, skip through the cutscene. Then see, you can actually run over to his hand here, and he won't wake up. And you can get 3 hits, and boom, first bracelet already down. And you want to run over to the second one. It takes, I believe, 6 R1s. We'll count them here. That doesn't count. We've had 2, so 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess it's only 5. Wow, that's pretty nice. Now, you can get a quick kill on him here. If I was to run forward there and hit that 2 more times, I believe 2 is all it takes. Maybe it's 5. I'm not sure. Maybe it is 5. But you can actually get a quick kill if you stop him from moving up and it saves you 10 seconds, but I never get it. And I never want to run into the poison and risk it at a run here, so yeah. It's pretty straightforward. It's killing Wolnir. Afterward, you can use the 2 souls. After the Era Flame destroyed, you can actually use Wolnir's soul right in front of him, which is just fucking hilarious. So you want to light that bonfire. You're definitely going to need it for later. And then we're going to cast Spook here, and then save ourselves a little time. Just run right off that lip there, and you'll fall right down, and boom. Now we skipped cutting the bridge and using that as a ladder. Now run to the right of this guy, and then run left around him, and you should be totally safe. I've never gotten hit by him in any run ever. You should be totally safe. Grab our first large Titanite shard. I'm going to point out the one that's extra, the one that I normally don't grab. Because this is where we're going to get the extra large Titanite shard. There's a really easy to get one here that I just don't grab because I don't need to normally. You know, in theory here, if you don't need a Carthus Rouge for killing the crocodile, it might actually be faster just to grab the Grave Warden's Ashes, skip that whole jump thing, and grab the 6 shards here. I don't really know. Anyway, this is the one I normally don't grab, just because I like to run straight to this one over here that I'm going to grab. Because it kind of leaves a straight line. I don't honestly know. I haven't tested it enough. Maybe it's actually faster to grab that one and run straight to the next one to the left that we're going to grab here. I don't really know, but these ones are pretty close together, so I just like to start with those 2. You want to try to avoid the arrows, but I suck at it, so hopefully you're better at it than I am. Skeleton can follow you, so that's scary. I heal there specifically because I know I suck at dodging the arrows, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to heal just in case I get hit. Healing you never really want to do if you can avoid it. Because it wastes time, of course. It's like, I think, a 4-second animation that you move slow during. But, you know, if it's going to cause you to die, one thing I had to nail into my head over time is it's always better to heal and lose 4 seconds or, you know, dodge and lose like 5 seconds or whatever than dying. Because dying is going to cost you way more than it will for you to take the little time losses here and there. So take the little time losses when you have to and just, you know, suck it up and deal with it. Anyway, if you were watching while I was blabbering on, we grabbed 6 large Titanite shards there. We light the Demon Ruins bonfire, and then we're going to go straight to Crucifixion Woods, and now we're going to kill the Sage. The strategy for killing the Sage is very annoying. It's the same strategy it's always been, if you've seen the other speedrun videos. We're going to use a certain trick for it, which I'll describe as we get there. But anyway, we're just going to use the Crucifixion Woods bonfire and run over to the Sage. Should have no problem getting past the enemies here. The only enemy that's really of any consequence is up at the next door. There's a guy who shoots magic at you. I'm not great at dodging his magic attacks, so I just kind of run through him. If I do get hit, I don't take it too big of a deal because you have 17 vigor in this run, and that's a lot for the Sage. I try to get all my stamina back right there. That's key. Make sure you have all your stamina in case you get the attack right away. I don't get it here, what I'm looking for. But make sure you have all your stamina. What we're looking for is the Homing Soul Mass attack, which I'm going to get right here. Basically, the principle here is as long as he has any soul masses over his head, he can't leave the arena. What you want to do is rotate him so you stay away from the soul mass so it won't go off his head. I fucked it up because he walked over to the wall and I couldn't rotate him, and I couldn't walk back to the right because if I did, the soul masses would have came off the right side of his head, you know? So I failed miserably at the strat. But the idea is to rotate around him. I think you go for, 5 hits, 3 hits. You wait till your stamina's back, you have enough, and you use the second bundle, and then you go for 3 hits, and then you wait until you have enough stamina for 4 hits, and that kills him. So it's 5-3, bundle 3-4, essentially. But I did it miserably there. I bet you guys can do better than I can. But stage control, he controls so freaking hard. Like, he sometimes in a run, he'll literally take a minute before he gives you the soul mass, and it's really fucking annoying. Anyway, we grabbed the Herald Armor there simply because it's right there. It's an extra 1 second, and it gives you stronger armor for the entire run. It's just, why not grab it? It's technically a safe strat, but it's used in even the meta route. There's no reason not to grab that there. This part is a little bit annoying because these dogs teleport. I'm sure you'll see it. I'd be shocked if they didn't teleport. If you need to, quit out here. Just quit out to reset the position. The dogs will be gone by the time you get here. And, you know, if you have to do it, do it. Because as you can see, the dogs are very, very, very persistent. But you're going to need to quit out here anyway because, of course, we have a door. You must quit out for doors. I'm going to take a sip of my green tea here. Give me a second. I don't know why I specified that it was green tea. I guess I'm some healthy fucking hipster. And just needed to let you guys know that, guys, I'm having tea with antioxidants in it. I digress. Anyway, you're going to go in here now, and we're going to light this bonfire because we're going to come back here. And we're actually going to go into the Ashes of Arendelle DLC right now and talk to Gale. Let's have a nice little conversation there, man. And let's head into the DLC. The reason we head into the DLC early is because we can get 6 more large Titanite shards here, and we can also get 2 Titanite chunks, which are going to allow us to get Cell Sword Twin Blades to +7 before we go to fight Pontiff, which is what we want. That's pretty damn good. Now, we could actually upgrade them before we go to Deacons and like absolutely annihilate Deacons, but going back to Firelink an extra time really isn't necessary. Like, you can kill them fine with the Raw Sword Straight Sword +2, so I don't bother. Anyway, you go into the DLC. I run straight forward here because the first Titanite shard we're going to grab is on the outside of this area. Or, not the outside, it's on the outer rim of this area, so to speak, right here. So watch out for that tree. It can hit you with its frost a little bit, as you see here. Watch out for the mosquitoes. The fortunate thing about this path is if you run down this way, I've found that the wolves kind of lose your trail, so to speak, which lets you go to the I think it's Rope Bridge Cave bonfire, which we do need to light because we're going to need it later when we go back to fight the Champion's Gravetender. Whew. Breathe, D-Mod. Sometimes you just gotta breathe in air and stop talking. I'm sorry if I talk so much to the point where it's hard to absorb everything I'm saying. I know I'm saying a lot, but there's so much that goes through my head. All this stuff for me doesn't go through my head anymore when I run. One of the things that's so important about completing runs is muscle memory. You get muscle memory. Make sure you stand in this spot for a second because it'll make the lizard run off the map. If you don't stand there for a second, sometimes he'll run into a rock there and then he'll teleport away. And you want that Titanite shard. It's pretty important to get. Because again, that's what we're here for, really. We're here to get the large Titanite shards and the chunks. And it'll be nice later because we won't really have to run through the DLC at all. We'll really just be running to the bosses, basically, because we're going to have bonfires very close to both. Anywho, want to run forward here, just continue on and see some screaming birds. I just realized I'm probably going to cut the audio for this because I actually did this run offline, which I was sad about. I was sad that I PB'd under 2 hours off stream. But I had music playing during this, so I can't play this because I'm pretty sure that would cause issues. I prepare to quit out here because this guy control you, as I think he does here. Yeah, he can do that. He can knock you off the ladder, or even worse, kill you. So it's pretty safe to quit out there unless he gives you that crazy combo attack. But I tried to avoid it, and luckily I didn't pay the ultimate price. I didn't die, which, again, dying in a run sucks because it costs you time, and of course you're also unembered after that, so you have to use any embers. I think we're actually going to grab an ember right up here. I believe at the top of this ladder there's an ember that I grab, which is entirely a safety strat. You don't need this ember for anything. I don't even sell it, or maybe I do. I don't know. I think I keep it for later. Just if you die to a boss, it's nice to have an ember. And when you're starting out, you're going to die. I can almost guarantee you're not going to do a deathless run. I think I've still yet to complete a deathless speedrun. I think I always die to something. But I haven't died yet, so you don't know, man. You don't know. Maybe this is going to be a deathless speedrun. You don't know. Anyway, you can actually literally run up. That's a skip right there. You can actually run up that thing if you go at the right angle. I did it so fast that it's going to be difficult to show you the angle. You can replay it if you like. But really, you'll get it pretty quick with testing. You kind of run at a slightly right diagonal angle up at a certain spot, and it just lets you run right up the wall. And then you can jump on the roof. Anyway, I go up here and grab the soul. I was yakking before, but I do grab the bonfire to be safe. Jump down here. Make sure you run a little bit to like out wide to the right, because there is a tree over there to the left that you can aggro, which is annoying for what we're about to do. This is an annoying strat. This is probably one of the only things you're going to have to do in the run that'll take you some pretty significant practice. Maybe it'll take you less practice. I don't know. But this is one of the only kind of ballsy things we do in the run. We fight Vilheim early. You don't have the damage here with your weapon to actually kill him. He'll out-heal your damage. So what I'm trying to do here, and while he's strolling, you want him to run at you. You do. You want him to run at you, and you want him to attack you. So here, I expertly roll past it, as you can see. Now, his AI gets really dumb here, and he's kind of programmed to walk back to the chamber. He won't fight you. So you can essentially keep pushing him, and what you saw me do there, I kind of stand in front of him, and it blocks him a little bit. You'll get good at it. Anyway, what you need to do is either a running or a jumping R2 with the Astora Straight Sword, which here it takes 2 tries for whatever reason, or you can actually go around to his or your right side and do a charged R2 at a certain angle, but I tend to do that. Now, I actually run back here because I was confused. Like, he didn't die right away. Normally, he dies right away, but he didn't there. So I was scared. So I lost time for that, but it's whatever. You quit out as we always do. Levers are the same as doors. If you quit out, whatever the lever effectively does, like pulls an elevator or anything or pulls those stairs down, it'll skip that when you reload in. As you can see, this is a pretty good run up to this point, but I lost some time here because I fucked that up. Pretty much the stage in there where I lost some significant time in the beginning of the run. But yeah, so essentially the strat is you use the shield bash to knock him off into that little area where you can't get back up, and then you use a jumping R2 to knock him off the map. Quite annoying to do, honestly. And if you get a combo from him, he staggers you and he can kill you in 2 hits, which is why you definitely take that bonfire. And that's what I meant about making saves. That's somewhere you'd want to make a save and practice doing that. That way when you're doing it in a live run, you have some experience with it. Anyway, this is the other area that's kind of scary. You light that bonfire, watch out for these guys. We're going to run up here, and after we go up over this hill to the right, there's going to be a fire breather, and behind him, you can run around him like that. You can grab a Titanite chunk. Watch out, there's an archer, or not an archer, one of the guys who throws the spears. I smack him so I can move around him. This is a nice little skip that allows you to get up here without kicking a tree over. So here, if you walk there, you'll kite this guy, stand over toward the right, and he'll kind of go to the right edge, and then you can just do a running R1 to knock him off. Run over the bridge and grab this. Watch out for that asshole who's going to throw a spear. And then we're going to run back across here because you don't want to jump back down there. There's going to be so many enemies kited to where you are. I get lucky and Goomba Stomp that guy to stop his attack. But then I carry on running, and I think I'm going to get hit here. Yeah, I get a thing thrown in my asshole. Literally in my asshole. This is a point-blank asshole shot. Anyway, you run over here, and I'm pretty sure this gets really scary. These wolves can do a lot of damage to you. What you want to do is you want to run behind these 2 wolves here and quit out. But I think I got my fingers crossed a little bit. I did. Okay, no, it was a different run that I'm thinking of. There was one run where I got my fingers crossed and I had to do a lot of running and somehow lived. Anyway, it can be scary. So you want to run to that spot and you want to quit out. The reason you do so is because there's 2 large Titanite shards here, but of course you don't want to grab them and have those wolves like on your ass. They'll knock you off the map or kill you or whatever. So you quit out here. We're almost done. We've almost got everything that we need. You're going to have to run back past these wolves, which I do expertly here. Top-notch speedrunner, pro speedrunner D-mod. I heal because I know that wolf's coming, and I'm like, fuck that noise. If I get hit again, I'm dead. And you just do your best to run past the wolves here. Again, utilizing quit outs if absolutely necessary. I try to run past them. For some reason, when you quit out at those large Titanite shards, the axe guy up here is gone. I don't know why, but he's gone. This guy... he got really fucking scary here. He got really fucking scary. I tried to quit out and fail, and then got so lucky. I got so lucky there that did just enough damage not to kill me. And that's why, and I quit out here because I'm sure I was terrified. I feel like I can remember how terrified I was. That's why I get the extra vigor. Like I said, you don't use dexterity yet because we're not using the Sellsword Twin Blades yet. There's absolutely no reason not to get dexterity or not to get vigor here. Early because it'll save you in situations like here. The DLC is really what I worry about because, you know, the enemies do so much damage here. They're scaled for endgame, so yeah, fucking horrifying. Anyway, I do 1 heal there just to make sure, like if I get hit by a mosquito or something, that I'm safe. And then we're just going to run up to the chapel here. We're going to run up to the chapel and have that bonfire. I don't go down and pull the lever yet for free. I do that later in the run. But if you think about it, all that we have left in the run now is, for Ashes of Arendelle, is when we come back here for free, we're going to have to go down and pull the lever, and then we'll use a homeward bone to get back to the last bonfire rested. And then we're going to use a skip, one of the fall skip quit outs to get to the Champion's Grave Tender from the Rope Bridge Caves. So really, we only have like a minute of running left in Ashes of Arendelle after this early in the run, which is really nice. It's really nice to know for peace of mind later in the run that you don't have much to do there. And the reason it's so nice is because you get to a point in the run after Archdragon Peak where your build, so to speak, is complete. You have a plus 10 weapon, you have lots of vigor, endurance, and dexterity, and really you're just doing runs to the bosses to kill them. It's nice to be able to do as many bosses in a row as once in kind of a boss rush, because to be honest with you, that's kind of what I love about speedrunning. It's like a boss rush. It's really like a boss rush. Anyway, we go back to the Cleansing Chapel here from this bonfire after lighting it, and then you're done with the DLC. See, told you it was easy. Anyway, yeah, I really wish Souls had a boss rush, and this is as close as you can really come to it doing a speedrun, I guess, like an hour and 53 minutes. I think that's less than 5 minutes per boss, or 25 bosses. So yeah, less than 5 minutes per boss. So I think, I don't know, math is hard. Anyway, hit those guys in the back, because that'll let you grab the Estus Shard. Just be careful; they can go a little wild and hit you, but they don't here. So now we're gonna do another one of the longer runs in the game, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, that kind of is like yuck. Like, you just got to do a lot of running. And then after this, we're going to have to go through Ear Hill, which is one of the longer runs in the game as well. Now, up here, this is one of the save strats I was talking about. Now, this is one you don't have to do. If you wanted to save time, you don't have to do this. This takes probably like an extra 12, 15 seconds to do. I do it pretty poorly here, but you essentially want to sprint over here. I didn't do a lot of sprinting. I did a lot more dodging than I'd like. But there's an Undead Bone Shard there, and it's pretty easy to grab. I made it look harder than it was. It's pretty easy to just go over there and grab it really quick. And then, that's just another plus on your Estus, which with DLC 2, it's just nice to have more Estus. And even more so than more Estus, it's nice to have more powerful Estus, because by the end of the run, I'm going to have 40 Vigor, like toward the very end of the run. But having plus 3 Estus is so weak for healing 40 Vigor. You need like 4 Estus for the entire bar. In the original run, you used to only get 8 Estus, and that's kind of it's just not a lot. Anyway, just make sure you run to the left of the wall there, because that sorting hat otherwise will come out and hit you. Sorry, I call them sorting hat, not I don't know what they're actually called. I think they're called like dregs or something. Yeah, dreg heap. That sounds about right. Make sure you stick to the left wall, because the guy won't be able to come out and hit you. You can run past the Grave Wardens too, as long as they don't do. There's one attack you can't run past. It's you'll know what it is. They turn and kind of slowly angle their weapon towards you. That attack can hit you and kill you. So just be on the lookout for that. But again, it's a lot of just about practice and running past the enemies. And as you run it more, you'll know what to dodge and what to run past. Essentially, you'll get good at it. I used to get hit by a lot more stuff and needed to heal a lot more often, because I just once you've done it so many times, you just basically know what the enemies are gonna do. You know what all their attacks are and everything like that. Anyway, you go through here, you spook. Make sure you take the Grass Crush Shield back out, because you want your stamina to come back as fast as possible here. You want to grab Lloyd's Sword Ring, and you want to try to do it as fast as possible, because we really don't want the giant to be facing us when we turn around, but unfortunately it's here. The reason you don't want him to is, as you'll see here, the hand kind of knocks you, and he's also going to put his foot in our way here, or I guess I get around it, because I'm fucking Speedy Gonzalez. This is a speed run. But the main reason is for that. That attack can hit you, and if it does, it takes like 70% of your health bar, which is pretty scary, because you got this guy up here who's got the biggest fucking dick, and he's going to hit me with it, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And then after Big Dick hits me, this guy's going to toss his shit at you, and that also hits me. But luckily, with the sorting hat behind me and the dude with his fucking turds throwing at me, like, I managed to live again. Sometimes you feel a little lucky, and I feel a little lucky there. Make sure you're full health here, because now we're going to equip Lloyd's Sword Ring, and you want that for this fight. It'll make this fight easier. It takes 2 hits to kill a mini deacon. It takes 3 hits for a taller deacon. It takes 4 for a fatty. But the main reason you want it is really for the boss. You want it for the boss deacon, because you'll be doing more damage to the boss deacon if you have Lloyd's Sword Ring active. It used to actually be the only ring we grab in the run, but we actually use more rings now. By the end of the run, we're going to use 4 whole rings, guys. We're actually going to fill all the slots. It's very exciting. Anyway, run forward, kill the deacon. Beware, because sometimes the fatties will like lunge at you. Just be ready for that. Like I said, 3 hits to kill a tall guy. After I've killed 2, use the last charcoal pine resin that you have. Sometimes it'll hit you with fireballs. Just beware of that. I get whacked there. It's kind of annoying. You can try to Estus and stuff, but you'll get fireballs thrown at you. You'll get fatties lunging at you. Like, it's a pain in the ass. Just do your best to keep your health full, but it's not always easy. After you've killed 5 deacons, the boss deacon spawns. Be very careful here, because if you're not careful, you will backstab a fatty, and that is a waste of your time, because after 5 hits, you're going to throw your last alluring skull, if fatties will allow me to, and then that kites them all away. And then you can just go ham on this deacon right here. And see, if I had Lloyd's Sword Ring, I'd be doing more damage, and this would make this easier. But fair enough. Get him killed. Use the Homeward Bone and go back to the shrine. I will note something about the Homeward Bone. You want to wait for... There's a bong sound. You want to wait for that sound before you use it. Otherwise, you won't get the boss soul. You'll know how to time it when the time comes. Anyway, Grave Warden's Ashes. Give them. That lets you get 12 Titanite shards. Buy a Homeward Bone, and then I bought a Carthus Rouge because I didn't get it, like I mentioned earlier in the run. I buy 1 Carthus Rouge. Level your Sellsword Twin Blades all the way up to +7, and then use the 1 Estus shard that we grabbed, and now you're going to level 34 Dexterity. Now, my dumbass forgot to sell the souls here. That's also something you want to do with the Shrine Man. You want to sell the souls. I get Dexterity, I get 31, and then I'm like, what? Where the fuck did I miss souls? And I'm like, what? What happened? Where did I miss souls? Where did I miss them? What happened? Where are they? And then I'm like, oh, I forgot to sell the souls. I'm a fucking idiot. So go and sell the souls. You want to do it when you're doing the other stuff with the Shrine Handmaid. When you're buying the 12 Titanite shards, when you're buying the bone and the Carthus Rouge if you missed it. That's when you want to sell the souls. Again, little time losses. And as you can see here, like if I didn't make little mistakes like that, I could save time. But again, this is my 6th time running this route and only my 2nd time making it to this spot. So I was reading the notes while playing. Essentially, to make sure I was doing everything, and I was just forgetting some crap. Anyway, use your 2 new lovely Undead Bone Shards, and now we have 9 Estus +4, which we're doing really fucking nice for this point in the game. And then we're going to go to a Wolnir's Bonfire, because now we're going to go to Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. Boreal Valley? Yeah. I try to equip shit here and do a pretty mediocre job of it. I want, essentially what I want on is my Bleed, Green Blossom, and Bone, and with my Estus, but I just did a really awkward job of menuing everything because I couldn't remember everything that I needed on. You also want to have the Sellsword Twin Blades on here. Now, I'll show you the spot. If you see those 2 like second set of light posts, you see this little white line here? If you stand right next to that white line, you'll be in the perfect spot to come in and punish the head. Now, I did it a little bit too late, but you can actually get 2 hits on the head right in the beginning. 2 hits to the head is all it takes to stagger. And you want that because you want that ring. Now, we want to equip Pawn of Ring, and we want to take off the dagger because that'll put us back underweight. Just underweight, as you can see, 69.6, very nice. So yeah, that little white spot, and then it's 2 hits to the head to stagger, and then I think it's additional 3 or 4 to kill. So it's a very easy kill as long as you stand in that spot and take advantage of staggering the head. If not, I'm sure you know how dangerous those things can be, so just be careful. Run to the left side here. I sometimes take my armor off there because you get your stamina back faster. And this area can be really scary to run through. It can be quite scary, mainly because of these guys. I try to run to the right there normally, but because he did that, I ran to the left. You got that guy Swiggity Swooty coming for that booty. You got them using that attack, which is the worst one, where they send the fire. I heal here because I don't know what kind of... Oh, I don't. Look at the balls on me. I don't heal there. Because you can get some bad RNG from those guys. I got good stuff there. They did a delayed attack and the little purple spit shit. So I got lucky there, I guess. But typically they give you pretty nice RNG. But you can quit out in that area if you need to. But yeah, that attack where they like swing the ground and make fire track you, that shit can counter hit you. It can double hit you with double counter hitting you. Like it can... I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that area. There is a skip in that area called Irithyll skip, but I don't do it because it takes a decent amount of practice and setup. And again, I don't want to use any complicated skips here, but it allows you to skip all the way to the Distant Manor Bonfire in about 10 seconds. Watch out for this friggin' monkey that drops on your back. If he catches you, make sure you mash R1 and L1 like crazy because it'll get you out of it in just 2 hits. And I took my armor off early, so I'm pretty sure he either would have killed me or made me like insanely close to death. But if you don't take your armor off early like I did there, you want to take it off before you get in the water because it'll allow you to roll more, and that's what you want to do through here. I hold circle until my stamina's back and then roll. Some people just roll the whole way. Do as you please, just fucking roll out. I was going to make an Autobots roll out joke, but that's cheesy as shit, so I'm just going to mention it and then feel bad that it even popped into my head. Anyway, grab that last green blossom. Now we have 7. And then we're going to light this bonfire here because we're going to use this to get back to Ponif after we kill Yorm. So I go ahead and put my armor back on here, but note the name of my split. Take off the damn helmet. The reason the split is called that, take off the damn helmet, is because if you wear your helmet, when you pick up the Storm Ruler, it'll be too much weight and you'll fat roll. So I make sure to not equip my helmet. So please, I don't think I even have that in the notes. If I don't, I should. Do not equip the helmet because you will fat roll at Yorm and it will very likely get you killed. Again, you would get invaded here. This is the second place in the game you would get invaded, and you would need to be at the quit out screen here while running in, and you would want to quit out at the bonfire. But because I'm offline on Steam, I don't get invaded by an NPC there. Now, we're just going to run through Irithyll Dungeon. Yes, that's what this area is called. 10 out of 10 job, DMod. You're going to make a ranking with you guys eventually of the Dark Souls 3 areas, and you can't even remember the fucking name. Good job. We're going to run this way. Grab the Pale Pine Resin because we're going to use that against one of the bosses in the run. Pull this up. And as you can see here, I'm going to pop on the Pale Pine Resin. You don't have to menu it here. You can see, too, that I did a shit job of menuing it. It's not really a convenient time to do it. There's better times to do it later. Menuing is often best done when you're running, when you have a lot of time to do it, like you're doing a long, straight run somewhere. But yeah, I like to put the Pale Pine Resin in slot 2, the Blossom in slot 4, and the Bone in slot 5, because we're going to get Lightning Resin here shortly, and we're going to put it in spot 3. Now, I use Spook back there so that I can do a fall skip quit out here. Once again, for the fall skip quit outs, it is using Spook, and then as you hit the ground, you quit out of the game. So you need to be quick at quitting out, because like you can see there, I'm sprinting to the edge, and I quit out as I'm falling. I'm quick enough at it that I can do it as I'm falling. And then we're going to run back here once you spawn back in, and we're going to grab the Xanthus Ashes, which is the ashes that are going to allow you to buy Lightning Resin, which is the primary resin that you use for this run. Use Pine Resin and Human Pine Resin, or Pale Pine and Human Pine, but we'll pick those up, and you only use them twice in the run. Otherwise, you just completely use Lightning, because Lightning dominates them. We used to use Bleed. Bleed used to be dominant, but they nerfed Bleed in this patch pretty harshly, which is kind of what put the final nail in Henri's Straight Sword's coffin. For the speedrun. Still a good weapon, just not as good as it used to be, and rightfully so. Bleed needed to be nerfed. So just note that I quit out there because the jailers will come behind you and sometimes block that door. I just quit out to be safe. But Bleed needed to be nerfed. Bleed was too strong. It really was. But as you're going to see later in this run, the Stealth Sword Twin Blades are pretty fucking strong too. Like, pretty damn strong against some bosses. Watch out for that guy. He can knock you off the edge. Now, I tried to see if you could make it across there. You can't. I don't know why I tried that in a live run. But what you want to be doing is going down here, climbing up this ladder, and taking this bonfire here, and grabbing the Undead Bone Shard. This is the last one we'll grab, so we're going to end the game, or the speedrun with +5 Estus. It's not horribly far out of your way. It's probably a 15-20 second time loss. It gives you the safety bonfire for Yorm in case you die, because if you do die, it's a pretty long way back. And then just run off here, and we're going to do another false skip. 10 out of 10 talking. You did a good job. Fall, skip, quit out. Again. I mean, not much to say. I can keep talking during these load screens and keep you guys company, but, you know, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of quit out in this run. Anyway, you want to stand right next to... I stand right in that spot between the two rocks there. They're on that ledge to kind of note where I am. They'll toss a fireball at you. You cast Spook while you're doing it, and then you don't need to do a quit out here. You can actually... It's pretty fucking far, but you can take that drop, which is pretty nice. And then we're just going to run to Yorm, and we're going to battle that guy. And there is a specific strat kind of that you use for Yorm, and I'll talk about it as I'm doing it. And we'll give you some tips there. So once you get in, it's nice to be full health here because Yorm does hit pretty hard in case he does hit you. In a perfect run, he shouldn't hit you at all, so it shouldn't be a problem. But make sure you get some of your stamina back there. Run between his legs. Make sure you have enough stamina to go up and grab the Storm Ruler without running out of stamina. Now, what you want to try to do is menu the Storm Ruler equipped between his legs like that. It's kind of hard to do. I'm not even still great at it. But if you do it fast enough, you'll be able to charge the Storm Ruler before he hits you like that, which saves you a little bit of time. I go kind of full balls there, and yeah. that's not really what you want to do. You want to wait for him to hit like that because that should give you enough time to charge the Storm Ruler if you back away. Then you go for the hit, and of course he buffs. I actually like the second phase better because it's easier to manipulate. Now, of course, you want to charge it up. Try to hit him right as he's getting up. That way you can knock him down. Now, what you want to do is stand right about where I am. If you do, he'll sometimes do that attack, but as you're going to see here shortly, sometimes he'll also do this attack, where he hits the ground, and that attack has a long recovery period, and if you do it right, you can get a headshot like that, and then boom, he's going to be dead. Just be careful about your stamina. I almost cost myself it there. I re-equipped the Twin Blades, and then, again, there's a bong sound, like I'm not going to have the volume on for it, but you'll know it when you hear it. Trust me, you'll know it when you hear it, and that's a signal that it's safe to bone out. Now, I forgot what I was doing there. I forgot that I need to sell Yorm's Soul. We're going to give the Umbral Ash here, and we're going to purchase 22 Pine Resin. Note that if you hit R1 or right bumper, you can actually add 10, so I just hit up for 2 and then R1. It gives me 22. I forgot what I needed to do here. Again, I wasn't looking at the notes effectively. Like, I hadn't pulled the notes down. You don't need to do anything at the blacksmith. You just need to sell the souls. You want to buy the 22 lightning resin and the 11 homeward bones, and then you want to go to the distant manor. Now, I forgot to use the undead bone shard here too, which is what you should be doing. But you do that after you level to 37. Sometimes 38 dex, like it's a little iffy. Sometimes I get 38, sometimes I get 37. Whichever you get, don't be afraid. Like it's not a big deal. Really not a big deal. I noticed the damage difference on Ponif. It's literally 7 damage per hit difference, so it's not a big deal at all. I don't know why it's so minimal, but it is. Anywho, take off all your armor again, so you can roll through here effectively. And then once you get to about this point, you can actually sprint completely again. So sprint past these guys. And now you can start menuing your armor back on. It looks like I've already put on the lightning. This is a pretty good place to menu your armor back on and menu all the stuff that I was menuing before, like putting on your pine resins and your blossoms and all that stuff. Just be wary. Make sure that before you've done it, you're past this guy, because this guy will often do a lightning slam attack that you really want to iframe through. You really, really do. I didn't menu it fast enough, so I just put the armor on here. Now, these dogs fucking suck. These dogs suck. They suck. It's good when they bark because it gives you a little time to get past them, but you're going to see here how bad these dogs suck. Bam, bam. Got hit by 2 dogs in magic. I tried to run up the stairs. I try to quit out, but I'm just not fast enough, and dogs are just too persistent. And that's the first time I die in the run. These dogs are very dangerous. What you want to do is you want to get to where I was on the stairs, where I started to try to quit out, and you want to quit out then. I just menued it poorly. It is hard to menu the quit out while sprinting. It is very difficult to do. I'm still not perfect at it. As you can see, like, I actually am pretty good at doing it, to be honest. It's just, if I'm panicking, like I definitely was there, I was trying to think about rolling, quitting out, and sprinting all at the same time, and it was just too much. So sometimes things like that can happen. It's no big deal. Now, I did have the Ember, but I decided not to use it here because it's like, well, first of all, I may die to the dogs again, so no point in using it in that case. And second of all, Ponif is not a very hard fight in the speedrun. That's why my joke name for him is Easy Boss 10 out of 10 IGN. Now, as you'll soon see, me saying that is funny, but yeah. Anyway, there's the lightning attack I was talking about to be wary of. You want to iframe through that. Now, another reason you want to quit out when you go past these dogs is because the game, since the Ring City has come out, has often crashed a lot, and this is one of the places that it crashes with the dogs, and you don't want to have to do this over again for the reasons I just said. One thing I do try to do is make use of the lamppost there and also this ledge here to try to kite the dogs and like block them using the map, but as you can see, it was that was still pretty harsh, and honestly, I probably would have died if I didn't quit out there. So I grabbed my souls and quit out. I think if you lost the souls here, it wouldn't be a big deal. I'm pretty sure you have like 4,000 souls, so it wouldn't be a huge deal if you lost your souls here, but I don't want to lose them, man. They're my souls, and fuck those dogs. Fuck dogs, man. You want top 10 hardest enemies and souls, top 10 least favorite enemies and souls, number 1 through 10, dogs. I fucking hate dogs. Anyway, keep running here, and around this door is where the game often crashes. as you can see here. Now, crashing in the speedrun is not a big deal. It's more of just an annoyance for the speedrunner. It's not a big deal because we run it in game time, so if it was real time, it would matter. But in an in-game time run, you know, I'm not in game. I just crashed. And the reason it doesn't matter is because the game will load to the last point you saved. That is why I heavily recommend a quit out on those stairs, because like I said, you really don't want to do the dogs all over again. And I've crashed before without quitting out there, and the spot that you spawn in at is right past that black knight. So right at the bottom of the stairs, so you have to do the dogs all over again. And as you can see, they're kind of risky. Like, I probably didn't do it the best I could have, but, you know, it was kind of a perfect storm of shit. I just got hit up by a lot of stuff at once. If I had gotten the quit out, I would have lived, but, you know, it's pretty difficult. So, again, quit out on the stairs definitely makes a difference, because as you can see, that saves the game for me, so I spawned back in here, whereas before I would have had to run past the dogs all over again. Fuck that noise. Anywho, I believe I'm going to S this here, because there is a guy up here, and since I'm not embered, I don't want to take any risks of getting hit by him. There's a couple of different attacks he'll do. Here, he does the very easy to attack to dodge. It's got a very big delay. As you go through the fog, you want to switch to your shield, because we're going to parry Pontiff. That's the strat here, essentially. You want to parry his opening attack. Make sure you have a decent amount of stamina. And then, boom, parry the open attack. And then you're going to get some nice damage. Now, you want to circle around him slightly to the back. Use R1 twice. And then you want to parry again. But the problem is, I didn't get the parryable attacks I was looking for. There's two attacks I'm primarily looking for. And to be honest, I almost always get them, so I'm not practiced enough in parrying his other attacks. You can only parry the fire sword. And I just anticipated another attack that I got there. He gave me the wombo combo, which I'm pretty good at dodging Pontiff, but I was trying to get the parry off, and I just failed there pretty miserably. Honestly, I think that's the first time I've died to Pontiff like that in a run ever. It's really, really rare that you don't get the RNG that you're going to see me get in the second fight. But yeah, this was a pretty disappointing part of the run for me, because I was really sad. I was beating my splits. I was golding a lot of them, which for those of you that don't know what gold splits are, a green split means you're ahead, a red split means you're behind, but a gold split means it's the fastest time that you've ever completed that split. And with me saying I've only completed one run, a gold split, since I only had one other complete run, basically means I did it faster than I did it in that run. So if I was gaining time, I was going to get a gold split. So I was happy. I was beating a lot of my times before, and then, as you can see here, deaths in the run are costly. Especially in this kind of area where you have to run all the way to Pontiff and then fighting him. Like, it's a pretty significant time loss. But Pontiff, like I said, normally is not a problem. To be fair, it is my fault. I really should practice Pontiff more in case he does something like that and, gives me attacks I'm not expecting. That I shouldn't say, well, the fight didn't give me the attacks I wanted, so it's the fight's fault. It's not. I went for too many parries that I shouldn't have gone for. And again, quit out there. I went for too many parries that I shouldn't have gone for. I should have just waited for an attack that I knew I could parry for sure, since I hadn't practiced it. The weird thing was, that forward stab he does with his purple sword, he normally follows it up with a quick swipe with his fire sword. And if you were to go back and look, I parry there because I'm expecting it, and I don't get it, and then he beats the shit out of me afterward because I'm just sitting there in my recovery parry frames, expecting the attack. And I don't get it. And that's where the fight fell apart for good. That was when I dodged backward and then he hit me again with the follow-up with that stab. That's the other attack you can get from that guy that's good. He'll buff his weapon. You're completely safe there. Just be sure to roll quick after this because he does hit through the fog there. Anyway, heal again. Now you're going to get to see the strat work how I expected it to go. Go in here. Get the opening parry. Parry him. Now, to manipulate his RNG, I've kind of noticed if you go around to his side, like maybe even his back a little bit, you'll be good. So you can roll that, boom. That was the attack I was expecting before, and I didn't get it, and that's kind of what made it fall apart. But again, my fault, not the game's fault. So wait till your stamina comes back here. You get 4 L1s in with the two-handed, and then get one last L1 and it kills him. So as you can see, that's the kind of fight I'm expecting from Pontiff, which is why I say easy. It's pretty scripted, it's pretty easy, but I died to the dogs, and honestly, that's one thing I really recommend in runs. Switch to the shield there, of course, so you can get your stamina back faster. They say it in football. I may have mentioned this analogy before, actually. I'm not sure. In football, one of the things that is valued really highly in a quarterback is the ability to forget the last play. Like if you make a bad play, if you make a bad throw, if you have thrown an interception, whatever, you got to be able to move on. You got to be able to accept your losses and move on because there's nothing you can do about it. You don't want to let the game frustrate you. If the game's frustrating you, or if something bad happens in the game, try not to let it get to you. Because honestly, even though Pontiff did give me the RNG I wasn't expecting, I think I let it get to me a little bit, and I kind of panicked. And those are the times you find yourself dying. And then if you, off of a panic death, if you find yourself getting frustrated, then you're really going to be annoyed. I'm usually pretty good at running past here without getting hit by arrows. I can't tell you exactly how I do it. I just stop at a certain point and know how to run past, but I get hit there. Again, saying that I really think I lost my composure a little bit at this point in the run because it was going so well to this point, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm 220 behind. But I knew that I had time saves in this run because I believe that in the 203 run, I died 6 times, I think. The reason I saved time at Yorm is because I actually died right after grabbing the Distant Manor bonfire to that, like, fire witch right below. So I lost like 15, 25 seconds there. And I died later in the run. I died to Ancient Wyvern. I died to the Dragon Slayer armor twice, I believe. And I think I died to Midir once. And I died to the Demon Princes once. So yeah, 6 deaths in the run. So I knew I had time to save. And that's why you have to not get frustrated. Like, yeah, sure, I'm 2 minutes, 20 seconds behind my splits. But it's like, whatever. If I can execute for the rest of this run, I will completely demolish this fucking run. Which is, hey, it's what I ended up doing. I am pretty sure that I guess this is a spoiler, but based on the time, you should be able to tell. I don't think I die for the rest of this run. I think those 2 deaths at Pontiff, to the dogs and to Pontiff himself, were the only deaths in the entire run, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. Obviously, you want a deathless run. If I had a deathless run, I probably would have gotten like a 150. But you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Anyway, you want to take that bonfire for safety, run it past that guy. That guy, that's the first time, I'm not even joking, I've ever seen him do that attack in a speedrun. He normally always does this lightning lunge attack, which is really easy to dodge, but luckily I dodged him there anyway. I glazed over it because I was busy blah, blah, blahing about, you know, feeling positive and all that good stuff. But make sure that you grab that ember for safety and quit out when you pull that lever because it'll make the elevator come down right away. You cast Spook here. Take the shield back out, and you're going to have to angle a jump over there. That's a skip, but it's a pretty easy one. Just make sure you're running to the left side of the wall and then jump toward the right, and you should jump right over. Just make sure you don't do it too early. Make sure you do it as close as you can to the spot where it goes at a flat little ridge on the railing, because if you jump too high, you'll die. I grabbed the Estus Shard out of the chest there because it's right there. Why not? Make sure you resin outside of the fog, because if you don't, Aldrich will be able to cast his magic. The key for Aldrich is staying close to him. You want to stay close to Aldrich, because if you're far away from him, he will use his magic. So if he ever uses arrows, get one hit on his front, go around to his back, and once he casts arrows, you can hit him a couple times and then get some hits on his tail. Again, you want to get close to him as possible. The key for Aldrich is knowing that he... Yeah, make sure you get away from his AoE slam. The key for Aldrich, as you'll see here, I'm staying to the back right because I know he'll come up to the front left. And I can get so close to him, he won't use his magic or arrows or any of that crap. And then it's just a matter of dodging his melee attacks and, you know, beating his ass, which I do somewhat effectively. But as you can see, the weapons are really strong here. Having a +7 weapon with lightning resin, I would consider that to be almost a bit of a bad Aldrich fight. I've actually killed him in two teleports before. I did that yesterday on stream, so... It's a pretty easy fight with these weapons, and as you'll see, the Dancer isn't too bad either. You want to kill Emma just with 1 R1. Just skip through her dialogue so she shuts the fuck up and dies. You want to grab the basin, run toward there, and that will spawn the Dancer. Then you use lightning resin. If you don't get it off beforehand, don't use it. I use a green blossom here. I don't believe you're supposed to. I think that I used the one I was supposed to use for Dragon Slayer armor there. Anyway. The best way to fight her is to stay attached to her hip, essentially. That's the way I like to say it. Stay attached to her hip and stay unlocked. I know a lot of people, at least from my YouTube videos, hate that I don't lock on, but I'm telling you, for some bosses, it's just easier. Anyway, after that, she does 6 spins, and then she does the spin attack. Take advantage of the fact that she does that, and roll in after the spin attack, or during the spin attack, and you'll be right under, and you can punish. I mean... That was a pretty textbook fight right there. The other thing you can do is actually hug her ass while she's doing the spin attack and get some extra damage in, because the attack that she's doing when she's spinning is a 180 cone in front of her. So if you're not in front of her, you won't get hit by it. It's just the spin attack that's a 360. So it's six 180 spins and then the 360 spin on the 7th. So just, like I said, take advantage of that. And then we're going to run forward here and grab this bonfire. One other thing I do want to note heavily with Dancer is with her grab attack. Please, please, please do not roll in the direction that she is swinging her hand, because you do not have enough iframes to dodge that way. You want to dodge through her arm. That's always the way that I do it. I mean, you may have your own method, but I always dodge through the arm. Just be careful, because if you mistime it, she'll grab you when your iframes run out, because if her hand's touching you at all when your iframes are out, she's going to grab you. Sometimes you need to quit out there. Sometimes you might even need to rest there. You might be out of Estus from the Aldrich and Dancer fight. I had pretty good fights, so I'd only lost 1 Estus, so I said no problem. Now you want to grab that soul and then cast Spook on this elevator, wait just a second, and then jump on down. We're going to grab this Estus shard. Now, I do a pretty poor job of menuing it here because it's only my second time trying it, but you do want to switch to the Assassin's Armor here. You should probably do it when you're running toward that soul. That's the best space to do it, but I kind of fucked it up. Anyway, you grab the Estus shard, get the Assassin's Armor on, and then we're going to grab that Titanite chunk. As always, make sure after using Spook, you switch back to the Grashka shield because you can run faster with it. We're going to grab this Human Pine resin because we're going to use it against the boss later. Scary. Try not to get hit, but, you know, it happens sometimes. Happens to the best of us. Grab this Titanite chunk, jump down. If you take too far of a fall there, you'll actually take damage, which you don't want. You want Lloyd's Ring. You don't have to heal. I always switch to Herald's back right here. Watch out for I always go to the right there, too, because there is another one of those knights right there on the left. If you go pretty far to the right, he won't be able to get to you. Dodging that guy, honestly, for me, is pretty hard, but very obviously necessary because he hits like a fucking freight train. Be careful because they can hit you through the fog, so roll to the right immediately. Then you're going to want to buff with the resin. And then this is one of the fights where you are supposed to use Green Blossom. Osiris used to be a pretty hard fight in the speedrun, but he's actually pretty easy with these weapons. It's just a matter of being careful about his attacks. I believe it takes 6 hits of the L1 to stagger him. You know, and to be fair, I don't think I've noted that to this point. Pretty much you're always L1ing with this weapon two-handed. The only time is if it's noted in the notes for a specific strategy on Ponif or Gundyr. He'll transform, but really in the first phase you want to hug his crotch, in the second phase you want to hug his ass. That's pretty much my strat. Hug his balls and then hug his ass. Like I said, 6 hits will stagger. If you have stamina there, you can take advantage of it and get extra damage from the stagger, but I have a pretty damn good fight here. So that was nice. Now, one thing I do want to note about his fight, you want to quit out at his door like any other door, but if you're really close to the door when he dies, if you quit out too soon, it'll actually put you at the front of the room, which is where I actually lost time here. I gained some time back on this quit out because in the 203 run, I quit out at that door, and then I got teleported back to the front, like the fog door, and I was like, fuck you, game. Anyway. So I guess, yeah, that would be a time loss. So I probably had a similar fight there, but anywho. Blah, blah, blah. So the Osiris fight can be pretty easy. Just the one thing to really watch out for is his second phase. His second phase is very unpredictable. He moves around a lot. And his whole body can become a hitbox during certain attacks, and he also has an insta-charge. Just be wary. Try to stick to his ass as much as possible and don't get greedy with the hits. Make sure you dodge that like spin attack that he does with his tail. It's got a pretty easy tell. He kind of bows down for a second and turns his head. You want to grab the gesture there. I always equip it before going through the fog since we're going to need to use it because we're about to go to Archdragon Peak. That's what Jump of Destiny is. It's my Ancient Wyvern split. The reason it's called Jump of Destiny is because there is a Wyvern skip that skips running all the way up. You can basically do a jump attack onto his head if you do a certain setup. It'll save you a minute. But again, we're not doing any hard skips here. We're just going to do the most basic of skips that anyone should be able to do with more than a few attempts with, you know, pretty relative consistency. Anyway, we're going to teleport back to Earl Dungeon. That way we can go to Archdragon Peak. And then we're going to grab a few items before we fight the Wyvern. I'm going to take a sip of tea here. I think we're about, let's see, looking at the, yeah, we still have about an hour left in the run, so pretty good. Now you spook and jump. That one's a little tricky, so what you have to do there, that's why you need to be fast at quitting out. You basically cast Spook, and then you have to jump. If you just fall straight down, you'll fall into nothingness and die. So you needed to jump and then quit out. And you can't jump if you're in your menu, so you have to be able to jump and then do the quit out after at the appropriate time. So, again, one of the most important things is practicing fast quit outs, which, like I said, you get it down pretty quick. It took me probably a couple days to really get used to it, being like really quick about it. I bring up the thing here once I know I have enough stamina to get to there, and then just take a seat and wait to get carried away to this. I guess it's pretty fair. There's a dragon sitting there. There's a path to the dragon after Osiris. But I still... how fast people found that was pretty mind-blowing. Communities for games are definitely amazing. Heal once here. I don't heal a second time because that's not a lot of HP down. And you still have to run to the Wyvern, which you get hit during. So there's really no point in healing to full. Because you're going to have to run all the way through Archdragon Peak with just Estus unless you rest. So no point in doing so. Run past that guy, and then we're going to grab 3 Titanite chunks before we go in. I specifically do this. You're going to get ashes that allow you to buy Titanite chunks here. The reason I grab these and bother to get those other ones is because the less chunks you have to buy, they're 13,000 souls each, the more you can use for leveling. I get pretty lucky there and don't die. It can be a little tough getting through that area. I chuck here just to be safe. I use the Titanite chunk, and then I get hit with fire. This is going pretty horribly. Which again, I mentioned, like, I guess, spoiler alert, but I die here. I die during the split. I'm fairly certain. Or no, you know what? I died in the previous run. Never mind. Be confident in yourself, D-Mod. You don't die here. You're a speed god. This is a jump of destiny. Anyway, enough fluffing my own ego. I died previously, but I don't die here. I was gonna go back into the composure speech, and don't let enemies hitting you lose your composure, guys. Please, don't get frustrated. This is Dark Souls, not Frustration Souls, not Salt Souls, all right? Anyway, enough preaching. So you want to run to the left, and I'm sure you guys know the path to where you need to go. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that, but there is a little thought that goes into this stuff. You want to try to dodge past those guys, take as little damage as possible. There is going to be a guy here who, if you run this way, is going to shoot a fireball at your back. I don't think I dodge it here. Or no, I do. Again, have faith in yourself, D-Mod. This is the jump of destiny. This is your destiny. I heal there. I make sure I'm full health before I go here, and I'm going to tell you why. Make sure you have pretty full stamina there. Kind of dodge that guy, stay to the right, and that guy won't be able to hit you. Now, you're going to want to dodge that fireball, get ready for one that's coming behind you, kind of wiggle your way. Axe and Chain is really fucking annoying. I'm panicking at this point because I'm like, wow, this is going horrible. So I actually heal to full because Axe and Chain, he takes about 70% of your health, and he hits you from quite a distance. He can knock you off the ladder, too, so yeah. I got pretty lucky there. I don't know what Axe and Chain was doing. I don't know if he was jerking it in the corner or whatever, but thank God he was. Whoever provided that man with... I'm just going to stop that line of thought. Anyway, jump off. Don't miss the dragon. If you wait too long, the dragon will move his head when you fall, and you'll fall on your face, and you'll fucking scream out in frustration and lose all that composure I was talking about. And then when you kill him, you want to go up and grab the soul. It's just more souls. Why not? You could pop souls here to save yourself like a second or two selling them to the Shrine Handmaid, but again, we're not fighting for all the time in the world. So I was feeling pretty good here because, like I said, I died to the Wyvern, so that's a 2-minute death, and that's a pretty big time save. So I'm only 0.9 seconds behind now, so I'm feeling pretty damn good. I'm like, okay, that's why I kept going in this run. That's why I didn't reset. That's why, again, even if I had died, this was only my second time getting this far in this run in this route. There's no reason to reset because completing runs, it gives you practice. It makes you better at the run. Even if I completed this run in 3 hours and died a bunch, the muscle memory that you develop, which I think I talked about that a little at the Lizard and the DLC and then like totally forgot what I was saying. Repeating runs gives you muscle memory. Sometimes, like runs like this, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing, honestly. Like, okay, so this guy, you want to go to the right and then dodge to the left so you can get around him. I don't even think about that shit. This, you can dodge through the fire. I do a mediocre job of it and get hit by the fire. Watch out for this guy. Try to dodge his tail. You actually can dodge through the fire, like I frame the fire, and then you can you roll again like a second later and you'll dodge his tail, and it's pretty easy. But again, we aren't all perfect. Muscle memory isn't perfect. It just helps. Continue running. Watch out for this guy. Every once in a while you can get hit by his little bleed things, which can be pretty scary. You roll off here. And then you're going to want to go around to this ladder. Because I was missing health here, I ran over to that chest you used to grab Twinkling Titanite out of. And then got ready to go up the ladder. Clearly went up like an expert. And got really fucking close to dying. The reason I want full health here is because that guy is scary, and also because the fucking rock is sometimes cooking up death. Cast Spook, take your shield back out like I always say. Now, grab the Titanite Slab and then get the fuck out of there. There is one attack out of, like, I want to say, like, 6 or 7 at least different things he can do when you do that will kill you instantly, basically, because he'll hit you once and it'll take half your health and stagger you, and then you'll die. Luckily, I don't get it there. Jump back down with Spook, you'll be completely safe. And then dodge like a fucking boss and grab that soul. And then we're going to go over here. Run over here as fast as you can. Try to manage your stamina well so you don't get pursued too heavily. Be careful of that toad. He can roll. I quit out here because I want to reset the enemy position. I don't want to risk, like running back through all those enemies. I just don't think it's worth it. You lose like, I think 4 seconds by quitting out. So again, 4 seconds in the grand scheme of things when you could die and go all the way back to the beginning where you originally spawned when you kill the wyvern. Fuck that shit. Make sure you dodge that guy because he actually can roll, and if he hits you, he can knock you off the map, which is pretty scary. Have your homeward bone ready here because what we're going to do is we're going to light this bonfire, which as long as you manage stamina well, you should be able to do. This guy will often chase you. What I'll do here is I'll roll away as soon as I'm done there, and then I'll just kind of run over here, and I run around the corner, and, good to go. So, Archdragon's Bleak is done. 0.4 seconds. Nothing to care about. So now, let me scroll down to my notes to see what we're going to do here. I believe you just sell all the souls, give the Umber Lash, you buy 4 chunks, and you sell all your souls here. Let's see. Yeah, so you have a shitload of souls here that you've gotten from bosses and the ones I've been saying to pick up. You're going to go ahead and level the Cell Sword to plus 10. So now we got our weapon fully upgraded. And then we're going to use the 2 bitch shards that we grabbed. So we're going to end the run with 11 Estus plus 5, which is pretty damn good for... We're at an hour, a little over an hour in the game, and we have 11 Estus plus 5, and we're past a lot of the bosses in the game, so pretty damn good. Now, what I do here is I level 15 Endurance, then 40 Dexterity, and I put whatever I have left into Vigor. You should have enough there to get 28, maybe 27. Burn the Undead Bone Shard that I didn't burn earlier. You should burn it earlier. I knew that I didn't burn it, so I burned it there. And then we go to Lothric Castle. And now is the part of the game where I said, basically, like I said, your build is done. The only thing I'm going to do later in the game is I'll periodically level health and stamina. And it's really what you call bitch leveling or peach leveling. You don't need the levels at this point because your damage stat is fully leveled. It's really just for safety. 28 Vigor is more than enough to finish the run, of course, but, if you can get the extra levels and it takes, the 30 extra seconds to go back to Firelink and do it periodically, I think it's worth it personally. That's up to you to decide. Again, these are strats that you can remove later on when you feel more comfortable with the run. Anyway, run up here, get your quit out screen ready, make sure you're sprinting while you do it. Quit out on those stairs right there before the fire hits you, and that'll allow you to spawn back in the game and run away to the next portion of the game before the fire hits you. So basically it just saves the need to kill those things and go around the long way. And the other good part of it is, I lost my train of thought there. What I was going to say is you actually can iframe the fire, you can roll through it, but I've never practiced it. And if you get hit by the fire, then with a counter hit, you might be dead, so I just don't bother. Run up here. There's going to be a soul right before the drop, which I do grab just because why the fuck not? I don't know. I don't even know if it matters in the grand scheme of the run, to be honest. I just grab it anyway. You actually can do what I did there, an animation cancel if you're sprinting and hit it at the right point. But it's not easy to do. I suck at doing the animation cancels. Anyway, you grab the elevator here for safety, and then we're going to heal and get ready to fight the Dragon Slayer armor. Now, I don't think I use a... do I use a Blossom here? This is somewhere I'm going to not use a Blossom. It's in my notes where to use them. But anyway, you use the Pale Pine Resin. And then I guess I do use a Blossom here. Okay. So no, I don't. Full balls, D-Mod. All right. Dodge the opening. I want to say that it takes 5 of these to stun him. This is an amazing attack to get. Because all you got to do is go behind him. And then you should be able to get at least 3 hits in. And if he doesn't turtle, like the I Like Turtles, the Turtle King, you're good. Yeah, it takes 5 hits. You really do want Lloyd's here because it gives you the extra damage. You should be able to get 4 hits in on that buff and then have enough stamina to dodge. And then really it's just a matter of taking advantage of his attacks. And like I said, these weapons really do fuck him up. So I died to him twice in my previous run. The first time I got him down to, I kid you not, as much health as I needed on that R1 hit there, and he knocked me off the map. I was extremely upset. But again, that's why we stick through the runs, because since I died twice there, I saved 3 minutes and 27 seconds there. So now I'm like, okay, now we gotta fucking run, boys. We gotta fucking run, boys. And I'm saying that to nobody other than you guys watching because I was running by myself. But I was saying that to myself when I was running this. We fucking got this. Anyway, grab that bonfire. Rest if you need to. I might recommend it because, first of all, I suck at the princes, which is why this is the hardest boss, 0 out of 10 DMod. And also because this is one of the longer runs left in the game. You do have to run a pretty long way to get to the princes. So, you know, healing here might not be bad. I guess I took a minute there to just gather myself and say, okay, take a deep breath. You're 3 minutes, 26 seconds ahead. Don't fuck up the princes. Because did I die to the princes? I don't know if I don't think I did. But yeah, the princes is actually still one of my hardest fights in the game. I've never been good at the speedrun strat for them. I'll talk about it as I run through here because you can just honestly mimic what I do here. I don't pick up anything. I just run through Lothric Castle, so or the Grand Archives, I guess. Well done again, DMod. You can't remember the names. Yeah, so what you're essentially supposed to do for the princes, when they open, you resin as the fight starts, and then as you lock on, as Lothric teleports, you want to dodge toward your left, toward his right hip, and his first attack should miss. And then from there, you actually want to unlock your camera and rotate him, because I've actually learned that if you lock on, he's much more likely to teleport, which I did not know. And that's always been my complaint of the fight. I feel like I always get really teleport-heavy fights. And I know people in my original boss ranking complain, like, DMod, you don't lock on enough. And I agreed. I didn't lock on enough in that fight. When he was teleporting, I should have locked on. But you actually do want to be unlocked, because what you can do is you can kind of use the claw grip and the camera to rotate around him, and it'll kind of confuse him. He won't teleport, and he'll keep rotating towards you, and you can take advantage of that to kind of, you know, fuck him up pretty quick. And it also helps for the second phase to get behind him, because in an ideal world, every hit you're doing, you want to hit both brothers, not just Lorien. But I'm not very good at that strat, so I employ a more safe strat, which if you're not good at that strat, I don't know why you would be unless you'd figured that out for yourself. Maybe you did. Maybe you're a genius. I believe in you. You're probably a genius. You probably figured it out. I just suck at this fight, guys. Anyway, yeah, I do a safer strat, which is basically I lock on, I go for one hit, and then I basically wait for his next attack until I go for the next hit, and I try to manage my stamina effectively. Sometimes I go for 2. Again, sometimes I'm greedy. I'm not perfect, and I'm sure, you know, I take some hits, which is why I like to have a lot of Estus here, because I take hits, and they hit pretty hard. That's the problem I have with the boss, is I can't really tell, you know, I can't always tell when it's safe to hit. Anyway, you want to take this elevator here for safety, because if you die, you would have to run all the way back through here. I don't know about you, but I don't want to fucking do that, so I just take the extra 3 seconds to go on that elevator to make sure that if I do die, you know, I have a quicker way back here, because a death here is very costly. This is a longer fight in terms of bosses, and the run back is pretty brutal. You want to run past these guys. Sometimes these guys will buff, sometimes they don't. Like there, you'll see that guy buffs, that guy buffs. Like that's pretty nice. That way you don't have to dodge any attacks. And then you want to quit out of the door, of course, which will reset enemy position, open the door for us, save us that precious in-game time. And then, yeah, we're gonna move on to fighting the princes, the boss that I said I suck hardcore at. And if I remember correctly, I think I have a pretty damn good fight here. So maybe I'll finally showcase. Maybe you guys can leave in the comments how proud of me you are if I have the fight that I think I do here, because I think I have a pretty freaking good fight. Because yesterday on stream I died at this point in the run to the princes, but I think I have a pretty amazing fight here. So as I said, as it opens, you want to dodge to the left, and then like I said, he's teleport happy. Fuck you. And like I said, I go for like one hit, unless on attacks like that where I think I can get 2. It was pretty close there. If I hadn't had stamina left, which with these things, you do lose a good bit of stamina. You do use the green blossom to help, but hey, it was a pretty good amount of stamina. This attack, you can actually get around. This is one where you can hit like 3 times. And when you get to the bottom of his health, he'll stagger like that if you've been hitting pretty, you know, readily. Really, the strat for this, I hate to say it, I'm not kidding, is literally just spam rolls until it's over, because you don't want to be hitting him while that magic's coming at you. Be very wary of this. if you get too close to him while he's doing that, he will follow up with a hit. Just be wary of that. If you're further away, Lothric follows up with a magic, but yeah, he follows up with a hit if you get close like that. So in the first phase, you can take advantage, but in this one, you can't. So as I said, I thought this fight was pretty good. Fucking PogChamp. It is a no-hit fucking Princess, which I believe that's the first time I've ever done that. In any speedrun. In any speedrun or in any fight. So I was pretty proud of that fight. I really wish it had been on stream so people could have seen it, because I'm pretty sure stream chat would have fucking exploded, because stream knows how much I suck dick at that fight. But hey, you know what? Sometimes we improve, guys, and I did well there. So I want to see in the comments, Dmod makes the princess his bitch. Please post that in the comments. Dmod makes the princess his bitch. I want to see it. I want to see it. I know you believe in me. Thank you. Anyway, go to the Demon Ruins bonfire after I'm done stroking my ego once again. And we're going to go kill the Demon King. Now, I have in my notes to use Pale Pine Resin here, but I need to test this. This is something I haven't actually tested. I want to say that lightning actually does more damage, so I just say fuck it and use lightning here, which means you don't even need the Pale Pine Resin, so I equip the Human Pine. So we're going to go up to him here, and yeah, it's really just a matter of hitting him with L1. 4 L1s make him go second phase. Get behind that booty, smack it a little bit. It takes 11 L1s to finish this fight, so it's pretty ideal to wait until you have all your stamina back, but yeah, that's a pretty easy fight. You don't want him to summon meteors, but it's whatever. That's why he's LOL really in my splits. Like, you just face him so late in the game that he's just a trivial fight. He can do a lot of damage, and he's dangerous in mid-game, but in endgame, he's just kind of a pushover. Anywho, now we're going to go to Champion Gundyr, which I want to say I've changed the strat. I don't know if I use the updated strat here, because I learned a new strat for Gundyr that's a bit easier, but I'm going to go off the one that I think I do in this run, which is slower. But I can tell you afterwards the one that's in my notes after you see it. Basically what we're going to do for Gundyr is we're going to parry him quite a bit. And we want to... I found a way to kill him without ever taking a hit, basically, which is the ideal, because in this fight, in the second phase, he can use a lot of unparryable attacks, and he's very dangerous. Make sure that you kind of run on that ridge right there so you don't take any damage from that fall. And yeah, Gundyr can be a little dangerous here, so excuse me. You want to be safe. I switched to the parry shield at some point. We're going to run forward, two-hand the weapon, two-hand it, and then use Gold Pine Resin. So we're going to go up, and we're going to do 3 L1s. Then we're going to switch to our shield. So 3 L1s, and then triangle to switch. Get ready for the parry. Boom. I should use 1 L1 and an R1. Yeah, that's going to make him not go second phase. So the reason I do that is because then we can parry him one more time, then get 3 L1s, then roll back so you don't get hit by the roar, parry again, and then 4 R1s finishes him, or in this case, 3. It can be a little random with the damage at times, but that's a no-hit Gundyr. That's a pretty comfortable strat. That's not the one I have in the notes anymore, though. The one that I have in the notes now, you use 3 L1s in the beginning, you parry him, and then you use 2 L1s. The reason I didn't do that in my original strat is because that makes him go phase 2 immediately. What I didn't know is after you do the 2 L1s, so you do the 3 L1s, parry, then the 2 L1s, that actually... Yeah, see, I went to him and got us a shards. You just sell the soul. I'm basically leveling up before Nameless King. That's all I'm doing here. Sell the souls, level up to 31 and 24. But, yeah, there you go. So, for the other Gundyr strat, you'll see it in the notes. It's 3 L1s, you parry, it's 2 L1s. That makes him go second phase. And then afterwards, after you parry the charge that he always gives you, you hit him 3 times, wait for your stamina to come back enough that you have enough to hit 3 times with L1 again. The first L1 will stagger him, and then the second 2 kill. So... if you want to see that, you can go watch my VOD from when I post this. That'll be 2 days ago, and I do that strat in the VOD, but it is in the notes, and you can practice it for yourself. Again, I recommend making practice splits. But to reiterate, when you go to Firelink, sell the souls, level to 31, 24. The reason you level 24 endurance is that gives you enough that you can do, you'll be able to do 5 hits with the twin blades, which is very nice. Now, what you want to do here is run until he hits the ground, basically, and then lightning resin, because it'll bait this attack most of the time, and it's pretty easy to punish. I say as I miss. But you can get 3 L1s, maybe 4 if you're lucky, if you angle it right there. Anyway, I just kind of, if he ever backs up like that, you know he's going to do a 180 jump. So then I got unlucky and I was like, fuck you, because this isn't a hard attack to dodge. This is just a time waste. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to run away. So yeah, fuck you. This attack is also shitty because it's hard to iframe through, but if you move back further toward his neck, it's pretty safe. This is a pretty bad King of Storms fight, but I believe I'm going to... I guess I don't stagger him, but yeah, you can kind of hit when that second hit comes through, and then, yeah, just kill that bitch. And then use Human Pine Resin. This is what we grabbed it for. It works very well against Nameless, as you'll see. I think I have a decent Nameless fight here. The key with Nameless, I know a lot of people think he's really hard, and he's not easy, but the key with Nameless is not being greedy. You just go for 1, maybe 2 hits if you think you can get it in, and then get ready to dodge. The thing with Nameless too is make sure that you're dodging when the hit is coming down, not when the animation starts, because you will not dodge it. Eventually he does this, he'll slam the ground, you just walk around his back, keep hitting L1 and you'll stagger the shit out of him, keep hitting L1 and exhaust your stamina bar, parry that man, knock him to the ground, you should get enough stamina back, and then 3 L1s should finish him from where he is now. Boom. Pretty textbook, pretty good fight. Sometimes he has really aggressive RNG, you can't get as many hits in as I got there, but that was a pretty solid second phase. The first phase wasn't great, but it's a pretty solid second phase. The first phase is really just you want to be hitting the King of Storms in the head. That's really all that it is. Just keep baiting certain attacks and hit him in the head. And then you can stagger him, which can end the fight really fast. Anywho, we're going to go straight to the Rope Bridge Cave, and now we're going to face the Bork Tender, as I call him in the splits, or Champion's Grave Tender. Essentially, to get down to him, we're going to have to do 2 of those lovely fall skip quit outs that I'm sure you've been practicing, because you're super good at quitting out now, because I told you to practice it, and by this time you already graded it. I believe in you. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being sassy, but I do believe in you. You can do this. I really did create this route because I believe anyone will be able to run this route effectively. So you're going to want to run over here between those 2 rocks, take the jump, and then quit out as you hit the ground, and you'll land on this platform right here. But I do mean it. I really do believe in you guys. I genuinely think anybody can run this route. I don't think you're going to be able to do it on your first try, most of you anyway, because some of the stuff's difficult to do. It takes getting used to run past enemies, fall quit outs, quitting out properly, all that stuff. But I really think this route is one that with little practice compared to the meta route, which requires a lot of complicated skips, and doesn't grab as much Estus. Like, I think that route ends with I think 9 Estus plus 2, which, like I said, the plus 5 is really what makes the difference. Anyway, use Spook again and drop down. I feel it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. And then I'm going to move on. If you didn't heal before, you probably will need to heal here, because taking those drops instead of taking that ladder up above cause you to lose some health. Make sure you're full health so you have your Lloyd Sword Ring. And then we are going to dual wield the swords. And I don't use resin until the wolves are dead, because I try to keep it for as long as I can in the fight. This is one of the few fights that's actually harder than it was in the Onrige route. Just 2 R1s will take care of the wolves. They're pretty easy to kill. Just a matter of waiting until they stop running all over the place. This guy can be a fucking troll, though. I really fucking hate this guy. He just likes to stand behind his shield. I try to bait better attacks like him rushing at you and stuff, because this dude just turtles. This should be the fucking Turtle King. This guy just stands behind his fucking shield the whole time. I don't know how I managed to stop him from attacking there, but the main problem is at half health, he will call the wolf. And you don't want him to be alive when the wolf is alive, because that can be troublesome. Fortunately, I managed to kill him before the wolf comes. I healed a full, so I'm ready to use Lloyd's. I really suck at dodging that attack, and that hitbox triggers me. I don't like that hitbox. It's the same one that the fucking crocodiles have. I tried to heal to full there, but it didn't get quite enough and said fuck it. Really, the wolf isn't very hard. The annoying thing about the wolf is he'll give you a lot of attacks where he runs away. He didn't give it much to me here, but really this is where you get to take advantage. I stagger him there, but just note that after he buffs, which is a nice time to get attacks in, he always uses a little Frost Breath attack that's really, really easy to punish, because you just basically stand next to his head and punish. But yeah, that was a pretty clean fight. That's about as good of a fight as you can get. You know, minus taking the hits and stuff. If I didn't take hits, it would have, of course, been better. Anyway, after this, I sell Nameless King's Soul at Firelink, and then I level to 35 Vigor. I think it's possible to get 34 here with the right RNG, maybe if some enemies die, because you're like 3,000 short there. If enemies die throughout the run due to something, then you might have enough there. But either way, 35, 36, potato, potato. At this point, it's all bitch vigor, so, you know, bring down that bitch vigor. Give me some of that shit. And now we're going to do the last fight before the DLC, which is definitely, as I'm sure many of you would agree, one of the harder fights in the game. But before we do so, we got to go down and pull the lever. And we're just going to jump down and pull the lever and then use a homeward bone to go back to Bonfire Last Rested, which can be a little annoying because those mosquitoes can bump you out of it. But it's not so bad. You do lose a lot of health, though. You can cast Spook if it makes you feel safer. It's just, you know, it's just the 3 seconds it takes to cast Spook that you'll lose. And then that way, if you get hit, you don't feel as, you know, dangerous. The jukes, son! The fucking jukes! I've done that enough times that I kind of always run to that spot, and most of the time you'll juke like a boss. It's great. It's amazing. Anyway, we're going to need those jukes because we're going to go down and fight this bitch. So this fight is, it's harder without bleed. It is. Bleed was better for this fight, I think, but it's just not strong enough anymore. So you got to get good. Really, the second phase of this fight is what I don't like and the hardest part for me, just because you can get kind of fucked really fast. But what I do essentially in this fight, you use lightning resin. I wait for her to attack. I try to take advantage of what she does. Here, that's a very dangerous decision, but you can actually backstab her in the middle of that ice and save yourself, which I did, as you can see. Anytime you backstab, the same with Watchers, you want to use a charged R2 and then 2 L1s. The key with Freed, with this weapon, if you ever do 2 L1s, she will jump away. So, it's very rare that she won't. For this attack, always note where she goes. If you see ice fly directly up in the air, it means she's jumping directly 180 behind you. If you see like it flick to the side, then it means she's going to the side that it flicked toward or whatever. Anyway, I kind of hesitate a second there because I want Freed to stay in the middle. I'm trying to kite her to stay there. You have a while before this guy moves. Now this is essentially what you want to do. You want a lightning resin in the corner, and then we're really just going to stay behind this guy and hit his legs. But as you can see, sometimes this happens. What you try to go for in this fight, what you want in this fight, I mean, I guess I do get a, nope. Oh my God, that's scary. Oh my God. D-mod the God! Okay. The reason it can get scary is what you essentially want in that fight, you want to do so much damage to Father Ariandel that Freed he tries to heal him, basically, and doesn't bother you. But Freed bothered me a lot in that fight, which made it pretty scary. I went way too ballsy. I shouldn't have gone that ballsy. Anyway, you just need to practice it. It sucks, though. Moving on, make sure you use your resin, use a green blossom for this third phase. Now you want to lock on, and then as she's up in the air, roll. You'll be safe, and you can get a backstab, which is very nice to open. Now, like I said, charged R2, and then 2 L1s. You should be able to get off. Sometimes you can't. Just be ready. This fight is mostly backstab fishing. Like, there is some of that, but honestly, you really just want to find attacks you can punish to backstab to keep her still. Which there are a few. There are a few that you can punish. This is one of them. If you get the right RNG, or not RNG, sorry. If you dodge appropriately like that, you can, I mean, of course I took a hit, but you can get behind her and get this off, which is quite nice. Just be careful of the greed, because that can happen. I decided to back off and heal here, which is a wise decision. She gave me good RNG. Like I said, you see the flick straight up, it means she's 180 behind you. Here, what she'll do 2 ice attacks and jump away and try to get away from you, and then she'll yet again do this. It's a great time to backstab. Again, this fight is a lot about backstab fishing. And then, again, got her and she's dead. Really, the first and third phase are not too scary. Obviously, the third phase is scarier, but they're not too bad as long as you don't get horrible RNG and aren't too greedy. It's that second phase that can be really tough because you kind of just have to go for a fast kill. And sometimes that won't be in your favor. And you can back off and try to, make the best of it, but you don't always get the best of it. But anyway, you teleport straight to the DLC. I got my second crash of the run. Often when trying to teleport to the DLCs is another time it'll crash. Also, Archdragon Peak is another time I've seen it crash a lot. But yeah, we got another We got another crash there, which is lovely, so we'll just talk again. How are you doing now? I know I asked how you were earlier, but I think it's been a while, so how are you doing now? How are you feeling now? Are you enjoying the video? I hope you're enjoying the video. I mean it when I say that. I hope you guys do enjoy my videos. I'm not putting out these videos for sweet, sweet cash money or putting them out because I have a huge ego. Like, I've definitely not perpetuated through this video at any point whatsoever. Totes not. No, I make videos to entertain you guys. I genuinely hope I can take any stress away from your day just through entertaining you, make you laugh a little bit. I know this isn't like a funny video. This isn't one of my funnier videos. This is a walkthrough. Hopefully my commentary isn't too difficult to listen to. Some people tell me I have that sweet, sweet ASMR voice, so I don't really know. Maybe this is good for that kind of thing. Anyway, enough blah-de-blah D-mod. We are now in the DLC, which is, I'm sure, what everyone has been waiting to see. And of course, we do it at the end of the run because at this point, like I said, we have 35 bitch vigor. We got 24. Since it's bitch vigor, I like to call it dick stamina. We got some dick stamina, big dick stamina. And then we got our damage stat. We're damage stat at 40, which is pretty nice. So anyway, we're just going to run straight through this area. If you noticed, I equipped the assassin gloves, and the reason I did that is because we're going to grab the Ring of Steel Protection plus 3, really just because it's only 15-ish seconds out of the way, and you can grab it without killing her, but it is a little cringeworthy. That's not the right word. What am I? You want to roll more. Basically, to get through that stuff, just roll. Just spam roll. Like, I tried to sprint because I think I'm fucking special or something. No, just spam your rolls and you'll be fine. Anyway, I heal up, and now I'm moving on. If you do not have a lot of SS after Freed, I guess I would recommend resting at that first bonfire. I don't know if you need to kill this thing, but it's just too early. I haven't tested it, so I kill it just to be sure. Because I'm pretty sure it will hit you here if you don't kill it. So, yeah, I'd say it's probably a good idea to kill it. Anyway, continue on, jump down here, and then you'll get to Earthern Peak, which I believe I light that bonfire. I think I do. I mean, it's worth it, I suppose. Like, lighting bonfires, again, another thing that takes 4 seconds. I say that a lot. And that's what I mean about these being safer strats. Like, that adds up over the course of the run, of course. If you keep doing safe strats that are 4 seconds and you do them, 100 times over the course of the run, then you're going to lose, 400 seconds. So that's what, like, I don't know, 6.5 minutes or so, 6 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that. Anywho, hide behind that wall really quick. The first 2 attacks will come for you. The third will go for those little sorting out bitches over there. Heal up. Get your spook ready, and then we gonna do a nice little skip, and this is something nice for all you out there that fucking hate the angels, because if you watched my first stream of it, I bitched a lot about the angels. I really did. I tried to indicate in my review that, in all fairness, also that's fucking scary. I forgot about that. Yeah, so if you jump at that ledge, like as you saw, you go past a little house and you jump, like you should land. It might look a little scary. Don't fucking roll like I did. Luckily, the kill animation isn't fast enough there, and I quit out in time to actually be on the ledge, but yeah, that's why, guys, what the fuck did I tell you? Learn to quit out fast. This is why I'm saying it. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. You need to learn it. Anyway, okay, I kill this thing, I think? No, I thought about not killing it. See, I'm thinking about it right now. Do I kill it? Anyway. I kill it just because I think she can hit you a little bit. Like, not really. I don't think you need to kill it, but, I just like taking out those Orphanacos penises. Anyway, yeah, I bitched a lot about this area. I got really frustrated, and it was because, honestly, like, it was my fault. That first one I killed, it's so obvious that it's linked to the angel, and I just wasn't paying attention at all. Admittedly, when you're streaming, it's a little harder to pay attention to those kind of things, but still, my fault. Still don't like that area. Fuck that area. Anyway, I rest here, of course, because at this point, I haven't rested since before I fought Freed, and I highly doubt I had like a perfect Freed fight. So we're going to head on down to the princes, and I'm going to talk about how we do this strat. So as you can see right there, there's a prince to the right and prince to the left. We're going to run directly to the one to the left, because the one to the left is going to buff instantly. The one to the right doesn't. So why we do this is he's going to open with a jumping attack, which will roll through. Try not to be too greedy here, because as you can see, that poison's right there. I wasn't too greedy for the poison, but I just didn't dodge in the right direction. I believe after he fires 2 poison attacks at you, he will buff. But if you're fast enough, you should be able to kill this demon before that's a problem. Yeah, you can hear him. Well, you won't be able to, sorry. You can hear it. I can hear him buffing back there, but now you can see it. It doesn't matter because that one's dead. Kind Because like I said, he'll only do 2 poison attacks, so just after the 2 poison attacks, go full balls on that fucking demon from below. I know I said in my review that it's easier to kill the demon in pain first, but I think that's why they designed it that way. If you choose to go for the demon in below first, since he's the one that's easier to kill, since he's the buffed one, yeah, you know, is what it is. Don't go for riposte if the boss isn't at high levels of health. There's no need to. It's slower. Just kill him with the L1s. So that was pretty textbook. That was pretty good. I think I only used, like 2 Estus. I didn't get hit very much. It's like fighting Lawrence. It's a lot about getting behind him and, like, rolling through his fucking legs and shit. Anyway, once he's buffed, what you want to try to do here is do 1L1 and keep rotating him like you'll see me do here. You can actually keep it up for a decent amount of time, like I do here, but eventually he will go for this attack where he jumps back with a fireball. After this, he typically follows it up with an aerial charge, which I think I get hit by here, yeah. So I dodged too early there. So I heal. I always try to keep, full health in fights like this where you can die very quickly. And I don't remember my fight here. I can't remember if it's a good fight or not. It's been good up to this point. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because he tried to summon the stuff, and there's what I'm talking about. If he's not at full health, go for the riposte, because, it's pretty worth it. You can, if you want, do like 2 L1s and then maybe go for the riposte. Maybe that'd be a little bit more optimal. Anyway, eventually he will try to summon those fireballs, and once he's done that, this signifies he's going to go for the fucking Spirit Bomb, which means you want to get up and stagger him out of it as soon as possible, because he'll summon a fuckload of them. Just note that even if you do stagger him out of it, some meteors will still come down. The amount of meteors depends on how long you got to cast it for, so just be aware of that. Anyway, that was a good fight. That was a solid fight. I don't split until I get to the where I use the flag. So there's no point in grabbing that bonfire because we're gonna get teleported to the Ring City and we're gonna grab that bonfire. So just grab the banner and then make the slightly long run to use the banner to get teleported to the Ring City. Which at this point now, I believe we have 4 bosses left. Get off my ledge, Jim. That's knocking Meteor off the map, which you have to do to be able to fight him. The Jim thing is a joke from the stream, and I literally, when I streamed yesterday, everyone was asking, who the fuck is Jim? Who the fuck is Jim? Jim, Meteor is Soulsies for Jim. Just trust me on that. Just you guys know. You guys who were there. You know. You fucking know. You fucking know. I would upload the original playthrough to my channel, but unfortunately, I think I had my music donations on. People, like, when they donate, I let them put in links and stuff, and they can donate memes and music and stuff if they so choose. And I think I had them playing in the background, so I don't think I'll be able to upload it, unfortunately. But honestly, it wasn't very long. I think it took me about 3 hours to beat the DLC. I rushed through it, and honestly, I did complain a bit, and it was probably not the most fun thing to listen to in the world, because people were a little upset. They wanted to like the new DLC, and of course I did too, don't get me wrong. But when I'm playing something with people, I'm ready and willing to voice my complaints. Anyway, grab the bonfire, quit out once to get rid of the archers, and then just jump down here on top of that roof. And then it's really just going to be running. I guess I should talk about this since it's so relatively new, but like, again, running at this point, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just, it's more something you need to watch the video and see, and practice yourself, essentially, because I can't tell you, well, run in this specific direction, in this specific direction. I mean, I can, if you want me to do that. Take a left here, and then you're going to run down here. You're going to let your stamina come back because you're managing your stamina like I told you. Then you take a left. You say, fuck that guy. Then you're going to go up here and roll and probably get hit anyway because you suck ass. And then you're going to... and then you're going to keep going down the stairs, and then you're going to take a left, and then you're going to take a right because there's going to be a bonfire. And that bonfire we want because that bonfire is going to be used later when we get a shortcut. If for any reason you're out of Estus here, like low on Estus, I guess you could rest there, but I don't need to because... Again, I'm just so good at speedrunning. You just run past these guys, no reason to kill them. I know they curse you a little bit, but it's so minimal and not nearly enough to be a bother. There's going to be one of those ringed knights up here, so make sure you dodge his sword swing. Just, it's a little delayed, so beware of that. Just run around that guy, and then one of these creepy fucking grudge turtles is going to come out. Just avoid him, roll down. Just be aware that throughout this entire area, they have very long range on their little attacks. So if you heal, you can get caught in it. So try to wait until they use it to heal there, because you'll need the heal after the jump. Especially because these guys hit like frickin' Jesus, they hit so hard. And here, I get fucked too. I forgot about that. Usually you can roll through, but that time they moved like just enough that they stuck me and I rolled too early because I was expecting to roll past them, and man, did I just get fucked. Feels good, man. Involuntary fucking. That's not a good joke. Jesus Christ, T-Mod, just this guys, this is what happens when I narrate a video unscripted for over I'm sorry for anyone I just offended. These jokes are not nice. Anyway, continue on, just run. Archer's gonna be there. Ain't gonna bother me. And then run past the ring knights, and then just keep running and running and running. This is the last big run in the DLC. Once we knock Jim off his ledge, that's pretty much it. Like, you get the shortcut, and there's really not much left to run. So we're gonna run through here. Those of you who play the DLC know that he comes down and breathes fire. You're gonna need to iframe it. So just I don't know what. Get good, son. I wish I had better advice because I'm not perfect at it either. But really, you just got to be able to iframe it. Otherwise, it's gonna hit you really hard. It won't kill you if you have the fucking bitch vigor that you should have at this point, but it will hurt you pretty bad. So right after, if you do get hit by it, heal right after because you're gonna be pretty low on health. Anyway, go to the right once you get in. Drop down again. Skip past the first door because the first door just has a mimic in it. And then the second door is the one you want to go through because it's the path toward Jim's ledge. Just go up here. Now what we're going to do, this is, guys, I found a skip. We're calling this the D-mod skip, all right? All right, because I don't have a fucking ego. Like I said, we're calling this the D-mod skip. Anyway, we're going to run up here, and right on these stairs, we're going to quit out right before we get to the top of the stairs because what's going to happen in D-mod and all his infinite wisdom, quit out here to make a save state and realized if you quit out here, what happens is when you come back in the game, Midir will be breathing fire down below, which means it's going to take him a minute to get on the ledge, and because of that, you can actually get up to where he is safely and attack him the moment he gets there, as you'll see here. So you run past here, and you can see that the fire's down there. You run up to the top, and what you're going to see is if you manage your stamina properly, again, like I've been telling you to, then he's going to come down right now. You can go for 3 hits on his head. That's all I recommend going for because you need to get out of the way for the fire. Then go for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I usually go for 1 more hit on the head, but I guess I just forgot to here. You should go for 5 hits. You should go for 4 and then go for 1 last hit on the head. Come back to this spot. You're safe to resin. Then exhaust your stamina bar on his hand. I missed a hit. If you don't miss a hit and got the 5th hit on the head, it only takes 3 more hits there to knock, or 3 more hits, yeah, on the hand to knock him down, but I fucked it up. I fucked up my own strat, guys. I fucked up the D-mod strat. Damn it. All right, anyway. Hit him 3 more times after you have knocked him down. Just, if the strats don't go right, don't panic. I wish I had showed you the strat better so that you could have seen it, but I actually have an unlisted video on my channel that I uploaded to show the Speed Souls Discord to show how that worked. Not that it's overly complicated or anything. Anyway, we're going to run in here, go to the left, and then we're going to take an immediate 180 toward the right. That's where the elevator is. We're going to go all the way up the elevator, open the shortcut, and rest at the bonfire because we have 4 Estus at this point, and we're about to go fight Midir, and obviously you're going to want more than 4 Estus for Midir because he is one of the hardest fights in the game, if not the hardest. Sheerly, not even just so much because of his attacks being difficult to handle or anything like that, more so because he does so much damage if you do get hit, and he just has a goddamn fucking crazy girthy health bar. Anyway, go down here, put the Assassin's Pants on. You can cast Spook here if you want to save your Estus, because you will take damage from this fall and have to use an Estus. I cast it here because I'm being safe. Make sure you equip the Assassin's Pants, because if you do, you'll have enough weight that you can put on the Chlorine 3 ring safely without fat rolling. Just add it to your arsenal of rings. Anyway, you want to send the elevator back up, because we're going to be going back to that bonfire when we kill Midir. Equip the Chlorine 3 ring, and then do a Spook quit out down the ladder. This is probably one of the hardest ones in the game. Like, if we're talking, they're not really hard to do, but you really need the sound cue for that one because you can't see because the hole's so small. That's what he said. Topical joke. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Again, live commentary for this long is on the fly is yes, it's excellent. It's what we all want. All right, so drop down the hole. Talking more about fucking holes, Jesus. Just get down the fucking hole, all right? Go down the hole, And then right about this trash pile, you can walk toward the end of it, I think. Or maybe it's even this trash. Yeah, walk to the end of that trash pile, use your lightning resin. Oh, I'm calling it a trash pile. Miss expertly on your fucking hits. And I'm fairly certain he always opens with this attack. The fire breath and then the fucking that. So do what I didn't and get better at dodging it. But what you want to do is run back behind yourself to the left because you'll be where his head is. Because he just does a 180 and turns around a little bit. Now this attack, the fire, it's very deceiving. It looks like you can't run through it, but if, as you can see here, if you wait, you can run through it a little bit and get 2 to 3 hits in on the head. It's pretty nice. It seems like an attack you don't want. At least that's what I thought at first, but you do want this attack. And it's also a nice safe time to heal, too. So 1, 2. I missed the second one. That's just one to watch out for. This, you gotta iframe, which I do expertly there. Unless you're close to his head. If you ran close to his head, you wouldn't have to iframe it. When he jumps back like this and goes in the air, he's going to breathe this. Normally, you need to iframe that, but I got lucky that I was just in a spot where I didn't need to iframe. At this point, this has been a pretty bad fight, honestly. I've gotten bad attacks, and I've done a poor job. If he dives back like that or moves back a little bit, he's going to do that charge. That's his tell for the charge. Again, this was my first time fighting mid-air in like a day. It's pretty rusty at the fight. I didn't practice at all before this run. Like this was my first run of the day, or no, second run of the day, but I died to Vort in the first one. Anyway, like I said, keep baiting those attacks, keep punishing them. As I said, so far, this is a pretty bad fight. I only have 5 S's left, and I'm not even at full health. But there I did what I said. You kind of run backward to where his head's going to be. If he roars like that, he's going to dive forward and try to bite you. And if he does, he's going to pick you up and chew you and spit you the fuck out and take like all of your health. So be careful. Most of his melee attacks, except the like complete diagonal swipes, lead to that fire. This attack. This is like the best attack to get. Because after dodging the delayed swipe, he puts his head here long enough for you to get 5 hits. It's fucking awesome. When he busts like this, make sure you get away from him, because that will hurt you if you're close to it. But you can run back in deceptively fast and get some hits in. Again, I got that swipe. It seems to me like if you stay in front of his face, he has a tendency to do that attack pretty often. And then, you know, just like I said, it's a good attack to get. I hit him with L1 3 times and then take the riposte, and that's enough to kill him. Pretty sloppy fight overall, to be honest. I didn't get the best RNG, but let's be fair, like I did a pretty poor job of dodging his attacks. I wasn't even 100% sure if he was dead, so I hit him, and then did I go back to the shrine there? You should go back to the last bonfire rested. If I went to the, or no, you know what? I forgot. Excuse me. You do go back to the shrine. I forgot. You do go back to the shrine because you want to level up here. This is a total like safety level up. This isn't needed, but you should be able to get 40 vigor and 29 endurance here, which 29 endurance is enough to hit 6 times with the, it's just enough to hit 6 times with the twin blades, and 40 endurance, or 40 vigor, I think is the soft cap. I could be wrong, but who cares? It's a shitload of fucking health. Like it's tons of health. And you want it because as you can see, the split name for the next boss, I know Half-Light isn't that hard of a fight, but in the speedrun, he's harder because you want to do it fast. You got to go fast. You got to Sanic, and he does not like you to Sanic. He does not. He's honestly one of the most annoying fights, if not the most annoying in the entire fucking run, and it's very annoying that he's this late in the game. But I'll explain why when the fight starts. I'll explain, you know, the different bits and pieces. Run to the left of that statue there. You should be completely safe to just sprint past that guy. Skip the dialogue that comes here when you get to the door, then open it and quit out, as always. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done quitting out. We almost don't have to quit out anymore. Feels good. Feels good. And really, at this point, it really is just pretty much 3 bosses left, because, well, it's not pretty much. It is 3 bosses left, but there's no more running, really. At this point, it's just the getting to him, and then right after that is Gale, and then right after him, and you just go back to Firelink and kill Cinder. So it's no more running, yay! Well, mostly. Anyway. Moving on. Going to the fog. You can't skip this guy's dialogue, which really fucking irritates me. I don't know why they don't let you skip his dialogue, but you can't. Anyway, try to keep your camera angled upward. This is a good attack to get because you can roll behind him and be safe. But this guy is a dick. I hate fighting this guy Because it's just like, which am I going to do? Am I going to do the scooping attack, or am I going to do this little, like, swinging arm bullshit? It's really hard to see because he's so fucking massive and he's wearing a fucking dress. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's like a toga. What is it called? Toga? Pope robes? I don't know. Anyway, when this guy comes in, once his arms are fully relaxed, that's the cue that you can backstab him. I don't get it there, but you actually can get the backstab as he comes in. I get a ridiculously fast kill on him. Once you do that, you want to use Lightning Resin again as Half-Light spawns. If you don't, kill that guy fast and just use it whenever you kill the first guy. Now, the way this fight works, essentially, if you ever see that, he's summoning those. Those will stay on the ground, and that sucks. If you see the arrows, it's time to go in. You can actually get a backstab, which is pretty nice, but it's not easy to get. What you want to do in this fight, you want to bait the two-handed and the bow. You want to, basically, if he's ever one-handed, run away. Because if he's one-handed, he can and will parry you, and it's not worth it. It's not worth getting parried because it takes so much of your freaking health. You want to bait the two-handed and bait the bow. So, anyway, once he comes in, you want to go straight for this guy because he's going to heal Half-Light. You have to kill him. You don't have a choice. Once he gets down to about a third or so of his health, he typically tries to heal Half-Light. As you can see here, he's going to go for a heal. I don't think that's the one that heals Half-Light, though. I think that just heals him. This is the one that heals Half-Light. So I go back up here for the backstab. It looks like he gets it off anyway. I wasn't looking at Half-Light's health bar, but that's what's annoying. Just a boss that can get healed during your fight while you're getting ganked is just kind of annoying. It makes sense for the PvP fight, but for this in the speedrun, you just want fights to go fast. You want fights to go fast, but here you have to play it safe, otherwise you die. And I've mentioned that before. Can you imagine getting this far in the fight and then dying here and having to do all this shit over again? Like, I'm annoyed just thinking about it. That's really the only attack that's kind of annoying. Because you want to bait this little thing because it's pretty easy to go in and punish, but sometimes they'll give you that. And see, then there, like, where you could punish normally during that kind of thing, you got to get out of the way because those things are coming up and they're going to fuck you. Here, I try to go around for a backstab. Doesn't work in my favor. I get hit. But there, I get some nice damage off. He's picking his asshole, which is just enough time for me to almost finish. And see, now I get risky. Now I'm like, I know he's one-handed, but I don't give a fuck. The fight's almost over. And see, that's what full balls can do to you. Like, I would say never go full balls, but that's a lie. Sometimes you want to go full balls. Like there. I knew he was going to hit me, but I knew he'd trade damage and he'd die. So it's go 80% balls. Go 80% balls, and 20% of the time, just fucking don't do it. It's not worth it. Anyway, that and get off my ledge gym were the first times I'd really lost any time at all in the run. That wasn't a very good fight, but again, it's better to play it safe and lose 30 seconds than it is to die, because then you're going to lose like 3 minutes. So I played it safe. Now comes another one of the hardest fights in the run and the game, Gale. I'm sure many people have been banging their heads against the wall against this guy, because he's basically Orphan Accost and then he's Artorias in the second phase. Both of which, in my opinion, are top 10 hardest fights in the game, so mixing them together, quite difficult. Also has a very girthy health bar like Meteor, so yeah. I don't quit out of that door because sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you still have to open it when you come back in, so I just don't quit out. And then light that bonfire and then make the long run to the Gale trigger, which is through that little door over there. Just down the ledge. Make sure you've moved to your lightning resin. That way, right when you skip the cutscene, you can use the lightning resin immediately. Because Gale's going to run at you, but you do have time to use the resin. One key for this fight that I want you to take note of before it even begins: every 5 hits with the Sellsword Twin Blades resin staggers Gale, which is very, very useful information that you want to take advantage of. Because if you know he's going to stagger, you can take that time to go full balls, like I said, like only 80%. You know, it's calculated risk, guys. Calculated risk. There's attacks like this one that are really easy to punish and are nice. Like that time he went kind of far away, but see, I took advantage of the fact that he was staggered. If he ever roars, he's going to do this shit. Try to just get away from it. Dodge if you have to, and then iframe that last thing. That way you're super close to him and can take advantage. But yeah, I wish I had a lot of good advice for this fight, but I don't because it's so fresh. And honestly, I hate to say it, but it really just is a fight of getting good. Like, you just need to count your staggers and punish when you should and not be too greedy. Like, it's really the best way to do it. Like, there, I probably could have hit him and maybe taken him second phase, but I decided not to because I didn't want to risk it. Like, see, I could have. He only needed 1 hit, but I wasn't positive, so I didn't risk it. Anyway, heal if you need to, Lightning Resin, and then Green Blossom for the second phase. Be careful of the Arbalest thing, crossbow, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I really wish I had advice for this, but this fight really is just about not being greedy. It's a lot like Nameless in that he has pretty decent tells, and this guy staggers a pretty large amount, so you really can't take advantage of it. But if you get too greedy, it's gonna end you. So just gotta play it safe because of the huge health bar. And as the fight goes on, he gets harder to fight too. Like, he starts getting more aggressive attacks. He starts following up with more combos. Like here I dodge very poorly, and that's kind of scary. I think that made me lose my composure a little bit. I can just tell by the way I'm playing that it made me kind of get greedy there, and greedier than I should have been anyway. And now I'm healing and just kind of losing it. So if that ever happens in a fight, just try to back off and regroup a little bit. Here I guess I was confident and didn't feel the need to back off. This attack is probably one of the ones I'm worst at dodging, because he can do two things in that little attack thing. He can either do that he just did. He can do the slam twice, or he can do that long range delayed slam. And I suck at dodging that thing. See, that's an attack where previously in the beginning of the fight, it was like a one hit, but now he turned it into a 3-hit combo. It throws you off a little bit. It does throw you off a little bit. See, I had a really good first phase. I've gotten pretty good at fighting the first phase, but the second phase, even though I feel like maybe it's not easier. I think I said in the review that it's easier, but after doing the speedrun, I feel like maybe the second phase is harder. I don't know. He has really good tells. I get too aggressive. So again, I know I said it a bunch of times, but really that fight really is just about not being greedy. And of course, on point dodging also helps. But yeah. Anyway, you come back to Firelink. You should still have enough resin. You should have one extra one, actually, assuming you never died. If you did die at some point, you'll have to come back and buy gold pine resin. So I guess in theory, you really only need 21, but I just buy 22 because it was in the original meta route notes, and because why not? If you do die, it's nice to have that extra resin, and it doesn't cost you any souls in terms of leveling to buy it. So no point in not buying it. You can actually get animation cancels on these shrine things. It requires practice, though, and I don't really think it's worth it, because if you haven't practiced it properly, then you can actually miss going over them and have to run all the way back up, which is a silly time loss at this point in the run. Anywho, go to the bonfire, and then once you're there, you can actually use a bone to bonfire last rested, which this is like a skip that's, again, it's just an easy skip. It takes you to the killing the first flame bonfire. Light it here for safety in case you die to Cinder. I could have saved time at the end of this run if I just full balls it, but at this point I was like, I'm so ahead of my previous PB, like I'm just going to play it safe. In case I die here, let me make sure I can come back as fast as possible. And then really this fight is it's just your typical Soul of Cinder fight, except you're using a very strong weapon, and you're going to have lightning resin and gold, blossoms for both phases. So this phase is the harder phase for sure. It's just a matter of kind of waiting for him to attack and punishing, but the thing I find hard about his phase 1 is he has some attacks where sometimes he follows up and sometimes he doesn't. Like it's pretty difficult for me to deal with sometimes. There I went greedy because I thought he was going to stagger, and I don't know the count actually for when he staggers, so yeah, I definitely lost composure there, but again, regain it. If you're low on health when he falls, I know it's really tempting to just go ham on him, but if you're low on health, then you shouldn't. This is actually a pretty bad Cinder first phase. I took like way more hits than you'd want to here, but still not so bad. Get back, heal, use your resin, use your blossom. You may not have too much time, so you need to be the judge of this. I only go for 2 hits here, I'm pretty sure, and then you need to rhythmically dodge out of that. Then you can actually iframe through the flame and go in, and you can get about 4 hits in before he does anything, which is pretty nice. I went full balls there because I thought he was going to stagger, but I was 1 hit off. And then once he staggers, like if you have full stamina, it's just pretty much a done deal, sealed deal. And then all you got to do to finish the game is link the first flame and then say no to Journey 2. And then when you get teleported back to Firelink, you got to quit out. I was so excited that I got a sub 2 hour that I split early there, so I took it off. And I was like, no, the run's not over yet. The run's not over until you quit out at the end of it officially. So get back into Firelink, quit out as fast as possible for last time, like I've been telling you to do, and then yeah. Once you load back into the game completely, it syncs your time properly. So I just waited just for that last little bit of time there, and yeah, 1:53:19:97. So I was honestly blown away that I was able to get that time after just doing this route twice fully. I mean, it was 6 attempts, but I think all of my attempts ended before Abyss Watchers, my other 4 attempts. So I was very surprised. I was very surprised. And a lot of it has to do with not dying. I did a run on stream yesterday, and I died 6 times in the run, and they were pretty costly deaths, but I finished the run in 2 hours and 11 minutes. So it was 18 minutes slower than this run, which can show you how much deaths can really cost you in the grand scheme of things. The only 2 deaths I had in the entire run were at Ponif, and those were of course avoidable, as are all deaths, but I was really proud of this run. I was really proud of this. I wish it had happened on stream. It would have been a lot more meaningful to me to have everybody there with me. But I'm glad that I can at least upload this to YouTube and share it with you. And hopefully, like I said, help you if you're interested in any way, shape, or form of speedrunning on your own. Because I genuinely do believe that this route is doable for anyone who has a moderate level of skill in Souls. And of course, it takes practice, which is why I recommend that you make save states if you're playing on PC. Take advantage of them. The speedsouls.com, just Google Speed Souls and you'll find speedsouls.com. I can also put a link in the description if I remember to do so. It's a great community. They have a Discord. Those guys are really nice. A lot of them are streamers. They're very helpful if you want to ask any, basic questions. Don't berate them with questions, but if you have simple questions, they're there to help. As am I. I'm in the Speed Souls Discord as well. And I'll do my best to read the comment section and see any questions that you guys have. I'm going to get to immediate work on another Souls video that I'm planning. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be pretty excited about it. And then after that, we're going to be doing a community ranking, which I'm also pretty certain you guys are going to be happy about. For a second, I thought I started the game. I'm staring at my controller in front of me. I thought I started the game. I'm like, what the fuck? As you can see, my time there is 1:53:20. Yeah, very, very proud of it. I took 3-4 months, I think, off from speedrunning this game, and I came back and did the honors route for a little while. To get a run like this with none of the skips, because the skips I do remove from this run, I mean it when I say they save like probably 10 to 15 minutes over the course of the run, and this run is about, I think, 15 or so minutes behind the current world record as the time of this recording. So yeah, this is definitely the culmination of all my DS3 speedrunning, and I'm really, really proud of what I did here. So thank you very much for joining me for this, guys. I'm going to start speedrunning the other Souls games. I'm going to let my Twitch viewers vote on it, so be sure to be around the stream soon. And thank you guys for watching this. Thank you very much if you stayed through this whole video and stayed until the end. It means a lot to me. I wish you all the best of luck on speedrunning. Thank you very much for watching this video as always, and I will see you guys in the next one.